What's up, internet? My name is Jake Doxy, and welcome back to another episode of the Doxcast. I'm not gonna lie, filming an intro is actually really fucking hard. After countless amount of efforts, I've realized this is probably the best we're gonna get, so I'm not gonna waste any more of my time, and for the length of the intro, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time either. So without further ado, let's get straight into the episode.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a two-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stun.
Alright, as you know, before we start, I need to say something to you that I say to everyone that comes on, but I would not be saying it to you if it was not true. You're sitting here because I find you interesting, and that's because you are an interesting person. I want to learn more about you, how you think, and how you feel, and I love that I have the opportunity to be able to share this experience. So I really appreciate you coming over, and thank you for sitting down. And ladies and gentlemen, honestly, one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. I've known him for over 10 years, and I think we have one of the truest and realest friendships that any two people could ever have. We are the original B1 and B2, but we both knew that we'll both be one. It's Patty B, it's Patty Bear, it's Skips, it's One Puff Pat, and this is Patrick Brown.
Thank you. Thank you, Doxy.
I got you, right? Honestly, I am a bit nervous for it. I am a bit nervous.
Me too,
because
bro.
we've
Me
been...
too. Look at them. I can hear my voice.
Yeah. Well, we've been leading up to it for a while. I'm on episode 17. But it's mostly because I knew that our conversation would come so naturally. That's why. So the nerves will go away. They will. I'm feeling them with you. But it'll get better and better and better. But you've recently had some really exciting news, which is the first thing I want to talk about, which is why it's kind of good that it took so long to line up.
Yeah.
That 17 episodes was actually the perfect episode because you've just had some exciting news. You want to tell me a little bit about it?
Well, I just got engaged to my beautiful fiance now, Alyssa.
Beautiful. I like the way you chucked that in there. Yeah.
And we've been going out about 4 years now, a bit over, and, you know, it's time to, I want to have a family next. And yeah.
Nice. How did you propose? How'd it go?
Well, it's a bit of a weird one because originally I was meant to do it on the Saturday before on the Wednesday of the 21st of December, whatever year we're in.
2022.
For future reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a custom ring made up. It takes a couple of months to do. I thought it was going to be ready by a certain date. It wasn't. I still had to take her out for a day because, you know, I said for ages that we've been planning it, and, you know, I couldn't just say, oh, last minute, nah, we can't do that.
Okay, I didn't even know, sorry to cut you off, but I didn't even know that you warned her about the day and shit, and that was actually the day that you were planning to do it.
That's the day I was planning, yeah, because like, we had the whole of December booked out. I really wanted to make it happen before the new year, and the dude said, oh, yeah, by the, you know, mid to late December, you know, it'll be yours.
Yeah,
sweet
nice.
as, it'll be fully made, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't, so we still went out for the day. Then on the Tuesday, the jeweler messaged me and said, hey, I've got your ring, you can come pick it up this afternoon. So I was like, yeah, sweet as, that sounds awesome. Picked it up that afternoon, and then my boss messaged me that night and said, oh, we've got no work, which was like the first time in about 6 years that we'd had no work. And then I was like, man, this is just going to work out perfectly. It also happened to be her birthday, so it was kind of like she was not expecting it at all. Nice. I said, you know, in the morning, we're going to take the dogs out. She already had her afternoon booked out, and we'll go into her family's for dinner. And I said, she got ready, and I was like, you look too good to just go out, you and I, just with the dogs. You know, why don't we go out, you and I? She's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sweet.
Nice. Do you reckon she knew it? Yeah, like, did she know it was coming? No. All right, sweet.
So then we went out to brunch up in the mountains. I just kind of kept driving. And my middle name's Lincoln. I wanted to take her to this place called Lincoln's Rock. We didn't have all the time in the world, and we were kind of like a little bit dressed up. Not over the top, though.
Yeah.
It was nothing obvious that she was like, oh, wow, you know, it's going to happen today.
Yeah, nice.
It was just still her birthday.
Yeah. She obviously wants to, like, feel good on her birthday. She would have, like...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Cool.
And I didn't skimp out. I still got her you know, for her birthday present, I still got her flights to Queensland. We're going on a holiday soon.
I didn't even know that. I did not even know that. That's a great present, yeah.
We went out that morning. We went to the brunch. And then on the way home, we went past the Lincoln's Rock. And I was like, oh, we'll just stop in here, you know, real quick. It was a beautiful day. And we got there, and there was about 20 other people on the rock. And I was like, oh, you know, beautiful view, though. And I was like, oh, I just really don't want all these people around. So then I just said a prayer real quick, and I was like, oh, you know, I hope that there's no one on this rock in 20 minutes. And then there was just no one on the rock. She's like, oh, let's take some selfies. And I was like, yeah, all right, let's take some selfies. We'll set up a video. Got on video, And then, you know, we're doing some cute ones, and then I got down on one knee and said, you know, will you marry me?
Yeah, gangster, bro, gangster. And as you told me, started my TikTok career.
Exactly, man. Crazy video. Crazy look.
Yeah, that's
Hasn't
cool.
gone viral yet, but it will.
yeah, it will. I'll put a link in the description for everyone that wants to see it. Shout it out, share it. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, cool. It worked out perfectly, eh? The prayer, like, that would have definitely been a good thing for it as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I really wanted to get on video too. I was thinking, like, how the heck can I set this up?
Yeah. Should have had me in the bushes, bro, with the tripod. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a class.
Nah, nice and spontaneous too.
Yeah.
For you as well, not just for her.
Exactly. And then the rest of the day, like, really was just calling family, telling the family about it. And she went out with her friends, which I thought thought was really exciting because she got to show the ring off. Or whatever. And yeah, it really was awesome.
Yeah, cool. Bro, you've made me think a lot about, like, weddings and shit like that ever since you engaged.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what has been stressful and what are you trying to consider when it comes to planning a wedding?
Oh, there's so much to consider when planning a wedding. It's just location, photos, food, flowers, people.
Fuck, bro, you're already stressing me out now. Let's fucking deal with what's been the biggest challenge though.
The biggest challenge is probably for me. It's like I'm a businessman, and I think about the numbers. And so when Alyssa's talking to me about this stuff, and I'm just doing the numbers in my head, I'm like, holy McDooley, you know?
Yeah.
And whatever you think the number's going to be, pretty well go up.
Yeah.
You know, a bit.
Yeah, sweet. So numbers is in, like, guests, like the amount of guests. Is that what you're talking about when you say numbers, or are you talking about, like, overall everything money. Added together?
Money.
Okay, everything added together.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, is there anything that's easy about it, or not really, not yet?
Anything that's easy about it? I mean, it's still a learning. It's only been about 2 weeks that I've been engaged, and it feels like we're jumping straight down in the fast lane, you know.
Well, that's how you do everything.
That's how exactly.
Yeah.
But to me, it's new. You know, it's the first time and will be the last time, so.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Well, you do everything like that. You go fucking full speed and you just, like, for example, like your car, right? You strip it down to nothing and you fix it from the bottom up, and at the end of it, it's a really good job. So I know you're going to go all out with the wedding. You're going to work it out perfectly.
Yeah.
And I knew that you'd be going straight into the planning.
Yeah.
And I bet Alyssa's very excited to be planning it too.
Yeah. It's really not me going straight into planning. It's really Alyssa, like, getting the move on, and which is good, you know. Yeah. I don't really want to do it, so. It's good.
Yeah, cool.
I don't want it to be like another thing not that I do everything in the world, but another thing. I think that's just something that, you know, if a bloke had it their way, they'd get married in the backyard with a bloody cooktop and have your mates there and get pissed, and that'd be it.
Yeah, I hear. Well, fuck, my mindset's a bit different. I thought that you'd be more like, oh, I wonder we should have it here. Or I wonder what we should do at the wedding. When I'm thinking about it, ever since you got engaged, I'm thinking, what cool shit could I have at my wedding? Have you thought about any activities that would make a wedding, like, fun? Is there anything that you think is a good hit to have at a wedding? For example, like, say, like a mechanical bull, right? Not to have that at a wedding because I don't think it's appropriate. But as an example, you know, something to do. Because I haven't been to many weddings, honestly.
Neither have I.
Okay.
I've only been to my brother's wedding and, you know, my auntie's when I was kids, and I don't know. It would be good to have something that includes everybody and things like that. I know for ours, we're looking for a venue that caters both the reception and the ceremony.
Okay.
So people are just at the one location, and then there's going to, you know, be things. I haven't thought about that aspect of it, and yes, it's a great idea. All
right, well, let's fucking try and work something out now. Let's think about it. Be a good idea. I'll tell you what I was thinking, because I wrote down this question because I was preparing for this podcast. One thing I thought of. Oh fuck! I don't know. Oh, I'll say it anyway. Fuck, if I want to cut it out, cut it out. I reckon the correct way to say it would be, like, little people. Imagine having a bunch of little people as servants, and they were the ones going around giving out food and shit.
I don't know
that.
whether servants is the way to say it either. Like,
well,
maybe waiters?
Waiters. Okay, you got me. Yeah, I could have said that better. I'll cut that out.
No, don't cut that out.
No, I won't. But yeah, like, what about like a costume dress up kind of section? You know what I mean? That'd be a good idea.
Places to go and take the photo, like more photos at. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Because you kind of need something for the people to do while the groom's party or the party of people, bridal party, is cut out that first two things. That sounds so stupid.
It's fine. It's
While
fine. Yeah. Yeah.
While the bridal party's getting taking their photos we're thinking of the Hunter Valley, like vineyards type of thing.
Yeah.
In the greeneridge.
Yeah.
Not this year, but then next year in like March.
Yeah. I guess like if you're a guest at a wedding, there might be a lot of waiting around and shit. You're right. I haven't thought about that. So maybe, yeah, costume. I think photography and videography is a great investment, for a wedding.
Well, normally there is that 2-hour period between your ceremony, or like a couple-hour period between your ceremony and your reception, and that's for everybody to take photos together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is the bride and groom there at the same time with everyone?
Everyone takes photos.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it would be no photos without the bride.
Yeah. I thought you meant like, because I don't have much experience at all with weddings. Yeah. I think I've been to like 2 or 3, but I've only really been, it was kind of like a destination kind of wedding. So a lot of it driving, and then you're kind of just quickly there and then you leave. So I think that like, to be honest, I'd like to capture the whole thing the whole time at my wedding. I think I'd like constant photographers, constant videographers, probably multiple.
And I know that like when you're just looking at a photographer, just a photographer, you're talking like, for a good one, $8,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
So when you do the maths, bro, you're doing them. You don't even want to know how much the venues cost.
Yeah. I can imagine though. I can imagine what it's like to rent a place out.
You know, you're talking about chucking a house loan on
a wedding. Yeah.
Which is, you know, I love Alyssa, so she's totally worth it. But as a businessman, you think to yourself, whoa.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
efficiency.
And I feel like every relationship, no matter how successful or rich you are, or how much wealth you got, you know, you're going to have a conversation of where's the line that we're going to draw on the budget. Yeah,
that's a healthy idea. Very healthy idea. I think a lot of guys out there, they'd be a bit more like pushover, but you're not that pushover type person. I know that you do want to give Alyssa the perfect wedding, but you're also realistic and smart, and you're going to find more efficient ways to do things
That's
as
exactly
well.
Right. That's exactly right.
That's cool. But I still think photography and videography at my wedding will be the most important thing. Definitely the most important thing.
Yeah, well, Alyssa was talking about, like, you know, having 2 things that you think to yourself, like, this is really important for me. And this is what we're going to spend all our money on, and then everything else we can kind of, like, try to skimp on, you know what I mean? Like, make your own cards, do this, invitations, or flowers, who knows? Yeah, that's a good idea. So for us, it's the venue, and then it's the photography.
Okay.
You know, and it would be great to have the whole thing recorded, you know, I'd love that.
Yeah. And then, bro, save money on an editor. Just give it to me, bro. I'll fucking clip it up for you. Yeah, sure. I'd like to do that, actually. I'd love to do that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, you could just wear your Ray-Ban sunnies all day and boom, that's it.
Yeah, just all day, just 30-second videos. Yeah.
How cool would that be to, though, have someone, like, people hidden with those all over the place, and then it's just like they capture the whole wedding. Yeah,
that's a great idea. Because to be honest, that's a lot.
Up with the fucking ideas.
See, I knew that we'd come up with some good ideas for the wedding on this podcast. Because, like, the investment to, like, buy a bunch of those sunnies, say, by the time you want to get married, say they're like $500 each. Like, that's like 16 people wearing those sunnies is the equivalent to one photographer. So instead of buying, if you're ever going to get 2, for example, maybe just have one who captures a really great photo, and then 16 people get to, or just have 16 sunnies in rotation, and everyone can just.
Ever gonna have 2.
I'm just saying, for example, right? For example, For example, so imagine like there was 16 sunnies going around, and everyone could just take photos and videos off it. Say it's like 4 or 5, whatever it is, but that's what the cost equivalent would be. I think that's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, for sure. Or what about something fun for people to do? Have you thought about that? Like, because I think that would be, you kind of want your wedding to be something everyone remembers, don't you think?
Yeah,
or what's
100%.
the point of spending your money?
I'm a fun person, so we're still young, you know, it's not like we're fucking 40 years old and we got broken backs.
Yeah.
We're young, so everyone, I think, should be able to play games.
Yeah. Games is a good idea. But what type of games do you reckon would be wedding appropriate, but?
Fish go.
What the hell is fish go? What the hell's fish go?
No, but you need something that everybody can join in simultaneously type of thing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? What if you got like... Dude, what if you got like... Say you got everyone's names and you put them in a fucking hat, and then you draw people's names out, and they had to do like Like, what if like you drew like 5 names out and then they had to perform a song in front of everyone? Something like
Yeah,
that.
like they get 5 minutes to go and
Yeah. Or what if you like you draw 5 names out and then you have like a script printed out and you give them like an hour to study it at the table while everyone's taking photos and shit, and they have to perform it in front of everyone like a play. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. But imagine it was like like a real thing from your own history, like say an embarrassing moment from you or someone else in the group, or like say a special moment or something, and everyone got to laugh and shit because people know who it's really about and shit like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but it's gonna be so hard to. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Sorry, dude.
It's alright. It's alright.
It's gonna be so hard to. You're talking about a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not just 20 people, and even getting 20 people to do a game all at the same time sometimes can be hard because there's going to be always that one person that's like a maybe fuck it, fuck weird, like, oh, I don't want to play, like fuck
Get
off,
out.
just get out. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, yeah, there's always going to be those people. So it's just it's going to be tough to include every single person in the game and all games or whatever you end up doing. But I'm thinking like maybe not during the reception or anything. I'm thinking about that time where the bridal party's off taking photos. That's where the game could possibly take place in those couple of hours in that early afternoon,
Yeah, or even like things like along the edges. Is that what you're talking about? Kind of like, for example, like a carnival. So you could have little games and shit people could do and verse each other and high scores and shit. So you get the high score.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, there's going to be plenty of wedding can be fun, I reckon. Yeah. Straight up. And you know what? I think...
but if you said, I'm sure if you said this to anyone else, it would be...
Maybe girls would be like, not at my wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, alright, good point. We're just two blokes discussing a wedding.
We're about to have like set up bloody jumping castle at a wedding, you know what I mean? Like, that's so appropriate.
Yeah. Alright, maybe you make a good point. But I think that I think talking about a wedding is actually, I think will be entertaining for a lot of people listening, because I think for the lads, it's not so fired of everyone's foresight. We're getting to that age now where you've set a good example, Luke Sessions has set a good example of, not just with that, with other things too. I want to talk to you about buying a house and shit like that as well, but people are making good steps towards the future. Jay, I just had Jay on, his baby's due any minute.
That's crazy.
Like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And I think wedding's one thing that most people aren't thinking about entirely.
Yeah. Well, it just feels like the other year we're saying, fuck that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck getting locked down in a relationship or whatever, but yeah, man, you find a good girl, you want to lock her down.
Yeah. For me, I think that fuck that, just for now. But I'm going, that's because I'm going to go 12 months. I'm going to chase no tail. 12 months. I've got a lot of shit to work on, a lot of shit to improve. So in 12 months from now, then maybe I'll start thinking about it a bit better. But it's still exciting thinking about it.
But that's the best time, that's when you find, you're not chasing anything. So it's just like, you're you. That's the best time in the world. Yeah.
And I guess if you're not chasing anything, I guess you are self-improving anyway. Like, I'm doing it so I can self-improve, but I guess it works both ways. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Well, I think that your wedding will be one of the best weddings I've ever been to. I'm not giving you much pressure. I'm sorry to do that to you, but...
No, there's no pressure at all. It's going to be an amazing day, and, I hope that it is the best wedding you ever go to, so, yeah.
Yeah, cool. My first wedding, I would like to have...
My first wedding, that clicked like 2 seconds after.
I was going to put that in earlier. I just didn't know whether to do it or not.
Yeah, well, on my first one, I'm going to go all out.
But my second, third, fourth, fifth...
Yeah, we might just go down to the courthouse.
Yeah, I'm not going to have much money left, by my fourth or fifth wedding, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, cool. As I said, you set a good example with the wedding.
Thank you.
And you set another great example as of, not as recent now, it's been quite a while ago. And that was
2 years now.
2 years?
Yes.
Wow.
February 2nd will be 2 years since I've owned that property.
What?
Yeah. Which is time to get another one.
Dude, I thought if it had been 1 year, that would have been, surprising to me, to be honest.
No, 2 years, which is crazy because, it's gone so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. And sometimes I look back at it, I'm like, man, I've hardly done stuff all it's all good.
No, I was just double checking. I always have to double check all the time. Sorry, I had to look at the camera.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, it feels like it, I look at the house now, I'm like, man, what a fucking dump. You know what I mean? But you got to look at how it was 2 years ago, and so much has happened in the 2 years. You can't do everything all at once, and that's the thing, you know.
Yeah, I hear.
Certainly me.
When you did buy a property, you definitely set a great example for me, and I think a lot of other people as well, because you're the first person I knew to ever buy a place.
You know, I thank you so much for recognizing that, and I was always encouraging people to, like, you know, you can actually do it, because I don't think people actually realize. And there was, you know, Alyssa's friends, they had like a bit of a fall-on effect where literally all of them now are pretty much house owners.
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy. Every single one of them, pretty much.
Wow.
And it's, you know, at first you'd be like, oh, as if that's possible, is what they'd say. But then I even remember one of them saying, like, oh, we want to travel. You know, we want to travel. And I was like, dude, you can travel after.
Mm-hmm.
This is your main priority right now. You got to save. You got to get this. And then I think COVID hit for a lot of people, and they're like, oh shit, I can't actually go anywhere, and I'm not putting my money into anything. So I may as well. And I don't know whether they even thought about that, but in my head they did. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, it's a great idea. It really is a great idea, and it definitely has motivated me. I haven't taken advantage of my motivation. As you know, I've been pretty fucking financially irresponsible with a lot of decisions I make, which is why maybe planning a wedding isn't the best idea for me. Maybe I should leave that up to my future partner. I might take advantage of that. But I think that not just myself, but other people think that buying a house is a massive challenge, which it obviously is.
Yes.
Obviously is.
Of course.
But it feels like the sacrifices are so big in order to get it. Did you find it easy, or did you find it challenging?
Oh, it was challenging because, I mean, saving money is hard.
Yeah.
You know, not going out with your friends is tough. Staying home, is tough as well.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to, you feel like that loser on the couch or in your room or whatever, or doing something else, just being preoccupied with your own life. And you feel like you got no friends sometimes. Sometimes it is lonely, but it is a definite benefit,
Yeah. Well, it's good to know that you found it challenging, you know, as
course.
long as it wasn't easy.
Of course, even now, you know, having your own property and maintaining it. And, you know, I don't see any people anymore. So, yeah. I
think that you have a different perception of that. I think you do see people a lot more than you think. You always say it to me. But think about the last month and a half, 2 months, you've seen quite a lot of people, bro. We've had...
Yeah, of course.
You have.
Yes, I suppose.
But maybe you're right when you say your social life isn't as wild as it used to be.
That's right. But going out, you know, from going out every single afternoon, you know, when you get home from work, going meeting up with everyone, doing this, that, going out on Fridays, Saturdays, and then just pretty much completely stopping. And I will 100% tie that to being with Alyssa. Yeah. So, yeah. Well,
you're still spending your days how you want to be spending them at the end of the day. You want to be spending them with her.
Yeah. Oh, I could not be happier with where I am right now.
Yeah, awesome. The sacrifices that you had to make in order to save up, what did you find that you were like, I can't do that, I can't do this? What sacrifices did you have to make? You said like not going out would be one, for example. But I think we're all kind of getting to that age now where we're not really trying to go out.
Yeah, it's kind of like going out's boring.
Yeah, maybe like 97% of us, to be honest, in our group, aren't interested in going out. But what other sacrifices did you find yourself choosing?
I used to be into fashion or whatever, but now it's just like $25 shirt will do. Even that, I'm like, oh, do I need it?
Yeah,
you know
cool.
I love it, but do I need it? And most of the time, the answer is no. And that's the question that all of the time when I'm at the shops and I'm looking at something and it's looking enticing, I say to myself, do I need it? Even this sport, like that's the only thing I bought for myself in the last... It's not even fucking charged, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a fashion statement, but you still like your fashion. You still like your fashion.
That's the only thing I bought for myself in the last like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Besides, of course, just maintaining the house.
The house. Yeah.
Which I think is like spending on myself. You know?
Yeah.
You have that mindset, it feels good.
Yeah, it's cool. I think that for you in particular, buying a house was the best possible thing to suit your personality. Obviously, it's a financial positive, and you can set up a family and all these things, but I think when I think of you, I think of someone who's creative and you express it through construction and detail. You know what I mean? As I said before, you buy a car, you strip it down, and you fill it all up, and you put it back together. Even down to the frame, you fucking oil the frame once you pull the tray off and shit like that. It's crazy. And I think your house is a great example of that. And I want you to kind of tell me everything you've done to the house since you have bought it.
Wow.
I know it's going to be a lot, so you don't have to go into crazy detail.
No. We'll just mention the main bits.
Yeah.
Well, when I first got the house, I redid all the electrical because it was in the steel conduit. I first started at Crest. Someone got electrocuted on the first day. Changed my life. Because...
Wait, so your first day at Crest, Aircon Company,
yeah,
you got electrical or someone else got electrical?
Someone was laying over to pull up the yellow tongue from the cavity.
Yeah.
Laid over some steel conduit. Steel conduit was rusty, perforated through the active. It went live. Switchboard was not upgraded to have RCDs, which would trip. AKA not correctly earthed. And he got electrocuted. Then switchboard was modified to bypass the main switch. And so this guy got electrocuted until one of the other workers, shout out Marco, fucking pulled him off and got electrocuted himself, put his own life on risk, and yeah, he saved Grant's life.
He saved him.
Yeah.
Fuck. Because I know that you can't grab a hold of someone when they are being electrocuted because now you become conductive.
Right, you're part of the circuit.
Yeah, fuck. We learned that.
He got surgery on his thumb as well, Marco.
Shit. Speaking of, we're going to go off topic a little bit, but this guy that I used to work with named Tom Glavis, he's the best fridge I've ever worked with in my life. He inspired me to become a great installer. He is so safe all the time, and he got given a coffee machine from one of his mates and just said, "Oh, it's not working. Can you just tell me what's wrong with it?" So he put it onto a what do you call it, like a non-conductive pad.
Yeah.
And then I think he might have even been standing on one as well. But when he plugged it in, and when he grabbed a hold of it for the first time with two hands to move it over, he just became part of it. So he was now plugged into the circuit, and he was getting electrocuted for I think he explained it for 10 minutes non-stop. The same thing happened. The house didn't trip.
Did he survive?
Well, the house didn't trip. He was just a full part of it, right? And he was he could feel it the whole time. And he ended up summoning the energy to pick it up and pull it off the table with him, and it unplugged out of the wall socket and then just crushed him. And he ended up getting found 10 hours later or whatever he told me it was. And it blew complete holes through his hands. Jesus Christ, bro. Blew complete holes in him. So, it's pretty eye-opening, electricity, when you think about it like that.
100%, bro. At any moment, working with it, or anyone, your child puts the fork in the PowerPoint. How do you know that child's going to be safe?
Yeah, fuck, I never thought about that. Why do they make PowerPoint so low?
Bro, that's why you got to get your switchboard upgraded RCD. These electricians, they're not just saying it.
Yeah. Fuck, I never thought about a child putting it.
MCD.
That's an easy thing to do for a kid. Bro, you know what that reminds me of? Remember when we were in school and we tried to make the fire?
Yes. I think about that all the time, bro. Okay, so for anyone that's actually watching...
Yeah. Alright, you go.
Okay, so... I don't know if anyone... They must have seen it on TikTok or something like that by now, but you could get a gum wrapper from a 5 gum, which is kind of like aluminium foil, and then they cut it in such a way that the tips would just meet up. You put it on the active to neutral on the battery, and, it's meant to light up. And so it wasn't working.
Creates a little fire, a flame.
Yeah, a little flame.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't working for us, and we're in science class, and... And Mr. Didden, shout out Mr. Didden.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Didden.
And yeah, I was like, fuck, let's put it in the PowerPoint. So we put it in the when we say we, I mean I put it in the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show, yeah. Yeah.
And then I flicked the switch and it just created a short circuit right in front of my face.
Just
I was like, oh shit. Just sat down straight away.
Whole building went out, bro. Whole building,
yeah. And then they couldn't find the circuit breaker for it for ages. Missy didn't have it back. He said, "No, I don't know what happened." Even though he was sit down right now.
Yeah, what a legend, bro. He was a good bloke.
Yeah, but he knew exactly what would happen if we got caught. I thought,
yeah,
stupid.
Yeah, that was cool. But to be honest, we just didn't know any better.
No, we didn't. But imagine if my fingers were touching that.
Yeah,
I would have become part of it.
Yeah, exactly. At least it tripped. in that sense.
Of course, it's always going to drip from short circuit bar.
Yeah.
Circuit breaker or fuse, though.
Yeah. But fuck, bro. Like, maybe they should teach electricity a bit younger in life, don't you reckon? Maybe like high school.
Yeah, I think so, but they don't. They don't want to make us really that much smarter, I don't think.
Yeah, okay. I knew we were going to get to these topics, so I'll circle back around to shit like that. I'll circle back around.
Okay.
But yeah, as you said, so the first thing you did, based on that experience you had with working with that guy,
that's right. Was the electrical.
upgrade it.
Yeah, so I upgraded the electrical in the house, redid all of that. Then I painted the inside. We went through the first flood. After that, I was like, man, fuck this, the inside. Well, we cleaned up all up. After that, got everything back running again.
And let me just cut you off to say, when you say you went through the first flood,
yes,
your house pretty much went in water, bro. Like,
yes.
And I'll put a link in the description, actually, that reminds me, for the 7 News who came and interviewed you and took you on a kayak through your own house.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the water came up. Had to repair it once again. Hadn't happened for however long, many years it was. Yeah, which is unfortunate, but it's just something that happens. And then after that, ripped down there was a pergola at the back that fell down, and the garage fell down, so I ripped them down. Then I got a machine in, and I dug and built a wall, which is about 40 meters in length total, and
Massive
2 meters
wall.
high.
Massive brick, Besser block wall.
And about 200 ton of dirt came in, probably about 250.
Wow.
Built it up, built new fences on the side. I ripped out countless trees.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You used to,
I was
bro.
on that machine for so many.
Dude, I remember coming over when you first said got the place. You wouldn't have been there for like more than 2-3 months maybe at that point. And you showed, it was night time. You had your head torch on and you'd set up an extension ladder full length between your house and the fucking tree. And you're up there you're like, yeah, bro, I've been up here with a chainsaw just cutting off branches and shit.
Yeah.
That was crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
bro. I used to come home and just go hard on the chainsaw every day. And, man. You ever got a Camp Laurel out? You know how big their root systems are? And, oh man, that was just a major job in itself. Did the fences. The wall was the biggest thing. That took 6 months, just solo, just doing all the formwork. Oh, and also Jackson that came over. Shout out Jackson.
Yep, thank you, Jackson. Shout out to Jackson.
And yeah, it was just anyway. Then after that, I started working. I don't know, little things on the inside. I've done the grass, built the shed. Which is about 49 square meter shed, 3 meters tall. I don't know, it's a nice shed.
Mm-hmm.
Painted the shed, hedges, gardening, more inside work, more electrical work.
Yeah, it's honestly,
the list
bro.
goes on, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to even remember what I've done, but yeah.
Well, I don't even remember the fact that you had all those trees around the joint that you ripped out. And yeah, you're making me realise how much work you really have done to that place.
Painted the house on the exterior.
Yeah.
That.
When you first bought the place, it was like,
fuck
it, I'm just going to say it because you're my best mate. It was a piece of shit.
100%.
Yeah, it was. It was actually, you know what? It was just a shit house. But now you've turned it into like a beautiful home. And I think every time I come over, it feels more and more homey. And I get the same presence I got when I used to go to your parents' place. I think I said that to you the other day. And it just feels like somewhere you want to sit inside. It's comfortable. Everything's nice. You've gotten better and better furniture as time goes on as well. It's very cool.
Exactly. And I suppose that's what happens when, we started out with a little shitty couch from Delvin's mum. It wasn't that shitty, but something that you grow up sleeping on, and then turns in, you got to upgrade that or upgrade the fridge because you don't have enough room in it.
Yeah.
And eventually, you just go, poor man pays twice.
Yeah.
You either go all out or you don't go.
Yeah. And that's
pretty much what I've I like to stick to that because
a poor man pays twice every time. You're definitely
100%.
right about that. And I do notice that about you.
So many
you make sacrifices on shit like, do I really need this?
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the fact that you do need it, you buy the best thing you can buy.
I try to.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it's like if I could fix that thing, it's a little bit broke. For example, I'll buy a decent car that's kind of shitty, and then I'll make it better. For I buy the shittiest house on the best block, on the best street. Things like that.
Yeah, and you have a great street, bro. It's such a community.
It is, and I would say it's easily the best. Well, I don't know, but it's the best top 2 streets in Windsor, I'd say. Yeah,
for sure, 100%. I just think it's a great sense of community. I know people on your street. I don't know anyone on my street, dude. I'll drive past Rob or I'll drive past anyone and I'm like, hey, what's going on? I don't know one person on this street.
And that's the best thing, people coming over all the time. Every day people drop in and on the street.
My fucking boss lives on your street. That's crazy, eh?
Yeah. Exactly. I've got his son's car right now.
Oh, dear.
Just borrowing that.
Yeah, cool.
Because I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's probably something that people should look for when it comes to buying a house. Maybe where the house is in terms of like community base.
Yeah.
Where would you want your kids to grow up? Your street's nice and secluded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's becoming pretty rare to find these days, like a street where it just doesn't feel like one of those busy ass fucking. It doesn't feel like the city.
Yeah.
Where everyone has something to do, somewhere to go. I'm better than you. It's just kind of like, yeah. And I suppose that's what I've really liked about Rob is that he is just that. He doesn't want anything from me. I don't want anything from him, and we're just mates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's cool.
We see each other when we see each other. He walks down to my place. If I'm there, he'll stop in.
Well, that's a true friendship.
Yeah.
That's a true friendship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you and me. We don't want anything from each other, and that's the best part.
Oh, I just want your time. Yeah. That's all I want.
Hard to get.
Yeah. It is a little bit. But I do see you a lot.
Yeah.
But I understand that you've got project after project after project.
I think, well, the thing is, I call it on myself, bro. Like, I get my last car to the point where it's, pretty nice. That's a nice car.
Yeah.
Just look old little truck, and then it's just like, no, I don't want that anymore. I've got it to the point where I'm happy with it. I'll get something else that's a shit box. So I'll do that up. Yeah.
Well, that's why I think that my opinion of you, the creativity wise, is definitely fitting your personality 100%. You are very creative. You need to express it. And I see it all the time. It's like the outside of your house has been painted now. It matches the shed. The hedges are looking beautiful down the side. And they all took a lot of work. It all took a lot of work. It's not like any of that shit's easy.
Yeah. Well, many man hours goes into it, but also all your money.
Yeah. I bet. And are you able to still save at the same time as spending money on the property, or is that one or the other? You can only do one or the other.
No. At first, it was like money was tight. I'd have bloody $20 at the end of. Well, I'd have $20 to last me a fortnight. I'm like, man, how the heck's $20 gonna get me a fortnight? Wow. But that's where I had a list to rely on for the food.
Yeah.
But yeah, or the cash jobs, you gotta make yourself more money. So you gotta get out there and make it.
Yeah. And you do find customers quite easily, especially because like you've got a word of mouth relationship with a lot of people in your street or in your family and friends.
Yeah, it's taken a few years to build up, but now it's just like you get random calls every 2 weeks or so, and which is good. Word of mouth is, I reckon, the best thing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's basically how all aircon businesses start in the beginning, word of mouth. I think that when people start a business and they're focusing so much on advertisements and shit and they haven't got that community already, those businesses will most likely struggle a lot quicker. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, they put in money that they don't have into advertising that might work out. It's kind of like a risk at the start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know if this person that's advertising for you is even going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my brother's mates over last night and I was talking to some of them who have like trades and skills. And I think this is good advice, but what I was telling them is start your own business as soon as possible. It doesn't matter if you don't have enough money. You can continue working, but as soon as you feel like you can do the job, start doing it. Do you think that's correct or not? Do you think you should devote more, be more financially stable before you start, get as long as experience as you can, 5-10 years, or do you think go straight into doing your own cash jobs?
Well, I mean, if you're comfortable and confident in doing the job, you don't take on anything that you think that's, and everyone does though. At the end of the day, everyone takes on a job eventually that they're just not capable to do, and they end up losing money, and then you realize, oh shit, man, maybe next time I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're confident enough to just go out there and start making money, there's no reason why you should just not.
Yeah.
You know, you get out there and get it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, someone else will.
Yeah. I've had employers even tell me like it's not worth it. Don't do this. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, I
just don't agree. I'll never have agreed.
Exactly, and they're just at the end of the day, they don't want you to go out there and work out how easy it is to make money, because it's easy to make money once you know how to make money, and it takes money to make money, or it takes skill. You know.
Yeah.
That's what people are paying for. My skill.
Yeah.
When it comes to air conditioning or electrical. And
Yeah.
100%.
All right, we'll circle back to when you said that Alyssa's been very helpful when it comes to like food and stuff in the beginning, and I've noticed that she's very, almost like, I want to say like nurturing like, or motherly like.
100%.
And the food is like just a great example of it. And I know that you always wanted to find a woman who was a great cook. You always told me that. Is there any other things that you think that you looked for in a partner, or are healthy things that you should look for? That's just as a bloke looking for a woman. What do you think are some essential things that you personally are interested in?
I wanted someone that, well, of course it starts with attraction. So I wanted someone that was attractive.
Yeah. All right. Good start, because that's an obvious start. Yeah. The bunda.
I wanted someone that was attractive.
Yeah.
I wanted someone that was caring, could cook, wanted to look after the family, wanted to have children, had the same values as me, and I also wanted somebody that, you know, at the time I was smoking way too much, more than anyone should.
I think at the time you were like just being like any other fucking 18, 19-year-old, but going out, drinking, even cigarettes. Everyone has things like that when you go out.
Exactly. Doing other things that you shouldn't do, which we won't mention.
Yeah.
And,
no comment. Yeah.
And, I met Alyssa, and it kind of made me want to actually stop doing everything that I was doing. Even though, I still did it for a bit.
Yeah. So you were looking for someone who was kind of opposite even, is that what you're saying?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. It's gone back a few years now to think like this is exactly what I wanted in a woman, but I remember there were about 6 or 7 things, and yeah.
Yeah, and I remember almost like 6 months into your relationship, you telling me like this is what I wanted in a partner, and this is what I found in a partner.
Yeah.
And I think that you created that through, and the same thing can be like through religion, like you find that because like you ask God and he will give you, but it's the same thing as the law of attraction.
Yeah.
As long as you ask, I think you shall receive.
Yeah.
And whether you're religious or not.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of believes that.
Of course. And I suppose it goes into something that we were actually talking about the other day, and that was like, you know, do you think that, we'll just say it in a perspective that isn't religious or anything like that. So do you think that somebody that asks for, out loud, let's just say, asks for whatever it is that they have, will be blessed with that?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's the same as every fundamental belief, everything. The law of attraction, in my opinion, is just, because I also do believe in God as well.
Yeah.
And I think that the law of attraction is a metaphor to the same metaphor of asking you shall receive. I'm going in circles here when I say that. But it's good to see that you did that, and you asked for what you wanted, and you got exactly what you wanted. And I think that everyone should do the same thing. You should tell people what you want. You should write it down. You should ask for it, pray about it.
That's right. It's like thinking to yourself, I want to do this project. You know, the first thought is thinking of it. Or, you know, I want to do this job. The first thought is thinking it.
Yeah.
And putting it out there and into the real world, you know.
Yeah, don't leave it in your head. Get it out.
That's right.
Tell someone about it. Write it down.
He's thinking it, but then you've got to actually make moves after that, which is talking about.
Yeah, and I think it's just a crazy, amazing example of finding like a actual person that is everything that you want.
Yeah.
A lot of those goals are like, what do I want to say for a New Year's resolution? I'm sure everyone's got a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
You write it down, get it out there, and I actually did write a New Year's resolution last year, and I'm pretty much 100% sure that I achieved all of them. I'm pretty sure I did, but I account that to writing them down. If I'd have just thought it, I might not have ever got those things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I suppose I had like goals from when I was in school, and I thought to myself at 24 I'd be married, which is the only goal that I haven't actually I fully achieved. But you know, I'm on my way.
Yeah. You're pretty much heading towards that. Yeah, sweet.
Which is young, you know. Everyone else out there in the world would say that's crazy young, but
Yeah.
I reckon it's awesome to find the person that you want to live with forever.
Yeah. Well, I think I probably had the same mindset back at some point. I like to get married young and have kids young.
Yeah.
It's just funny how things do change over time.
Exactly, and things can change in an instant.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
In an instant.
I ask you like what you looked for in a partner because I've been asking myself that over the last 5 years, say for example. All right. And originally, I think my mindset was, I don't really care, you know. And I think I thought to myself, as long as we love each other, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
But as I'm getting older and maturing and going through experiences and hearing other people's stories as well, you got to have a deeper want and desire than just love. And I think that originally I was like, yeah, I don't care if they just want to stay home. I don't care if they want to go out and do something. And how do I say this? I think that through experience, I now know that I want to find someone who is almost completely independent and doesn't necessarily wait and desire on me and is actually their own fucking person. I need to find someone who is driven and achieves their goals and at least has goals. Because I think everyone has dreams, but a special type of person takes advantage of that dream and starts to put it into fruition. You know, a dream means nothing if you just leave it on the pillow.
Yeah.
Then that's what I'm most likely looking for in a partner. It's my main goal. I think something like that.
Attractive to find somebody that is into having their own goals and not just like slugging off your leg and like weighing you down. You don't want to entertain your missus when you come home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you don't... And for some reason, it's just fallen on that. I don't know why. But I see other blokes and they're just like entertaining their missus all the time. It's like,
yeah.
Don't you got something to fucking do, man?
Yeah. Well, don't you both have something to do?
Exactly. But it's just like, entertain me.
Yeah, and what we're talking about is different to what we both think is like you do have to spend time with each other.
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
I know you think that as well.
And there's so many hours in the day, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to make it work. Sometimes it doesn't work out that you don't have all that time in the world or whatever. But like, yeah, to just and that's the thing. You have a woman that goes out and works or whatever, but sometimes blokes don't have that. They come home and their missus is just like waiting
all day,
to fucking entertain them.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
No bloke wants to come home to that.
No, I agree. I didn't think that it was something that needed much thought, but I completely understand that to be true now. You have to both be living your own lives entirely, have your own together goals, say buying houses, having kids, raising kids, even holidays, all that fun shit, right? But then you both have to be devoted to either your jobs or your passions or your careers or your hobbies, and then to tell each other about them every single day.
Yeah, that's right. You still have to have full communication because you're together.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's not really a partnership. It's just a relationship.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like a friendship or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Have you thought of any healthy ideas that would make a successful marriage based on, like, say, your family or your brother or other people who are leading good examples?
I think it's like, you know, it is a good idea to have some sort of fun whether that's just going for a walk together, and that's fun to, you know, sounds boring as fuck, but
yeah,
it's fun to go for a walk together and just have your own time, or take the dogs to the beach, or, you know, things like that. You can't just say, oh yeah, we watch some TV together, because you can just do that by yourself at any moment.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah. And I'm one of them.
Or going for a bike ride. I mean, a bike ride's fun, isn't it?
Yeah. And I am one of them. I'm guilty for it, but I've had a mindset in past relationships where it's like, time together could be watching Netflix, watching movies, shit like that. But that is time together, but that's not quality time together.
Yeah, I feel like if the daylight's out, I mean, that's you got to get outside.
Yeah,
I'm an outside person.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
I never am. Bro, I couldn't even tell you the last time I watched fucking TV inside.
I know.
When the sunlight was out.
I reckon the last time you watched a fucking movie would blow your own mind, eh? When was the last... Did you actually know the last movie you watched? Could you...
Fuck, we tried to watch some Christmas shit the other day and I just was like... asleep halfway through. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, I better catch up on some sleep, man.
Yeah. If it's time for a movie, it's time to rest. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm different, bro. To be honest, I really enjoy movies, but I watch... Oh, I guess I've changed a lot the more shit I have going on. I couldn't even tell you the last movie I watched either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's good though.
Yeah. It is.
I just feel like it was drilled into by my mum.
Black Panther. That was the last movie I watched. Yeah.
That came out ages ago.
Yeah, probably. Oh, no, it's probably about a month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, they got a new one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Black Panther 2. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. No, I feel like it was just drilled into me by my mum. You know, back in the day, we had 1 hour per week for TV, computer.
That's
Xbox.
right.
You could choose which one you wanted to do. You could have 20 minutes of each if you wanted.
That's right. I remember thinking that was
internet back in the day
wild.
was so fucking slow. We used to play Pokemon Go on the computer.
Yeah.
You'd have 3 fucking moves. You might get into a battle. It would be with something shit and you like leave and then the internet would jam up and that'd be 60 minutes.
Oh my god.
I
remember that. I remember thinking it was wild because I grew up playing Xbox. And you'd come over pretty much weekly actually and we'd play Xbox the whole time. We'd play
That's
COD.
exactly right. And that's what happened to me because when I was younger is that I never got it. So it was just like as soon as I fucking did, I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be in that room playing 12 hours, 14 hours a day until you feel sick.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how you didn't grow up with that same mindset, but you know, like I thought that whatever you don't get as a kid, you most likely are inclined to have as an adult. And I've said this before, like on the podcast where I was never allowed soft drink or any fucking flavored drink, to be honest with you. I had cordial and every now and then, but now as an adult I can't leave a mouthful of a drink because it's like, to me it's like it's a rare opportunity. Even though I buy them every day now, I buy whatever the fuck I want whenever the fuck I want it, but I still see it as like liquid gold. You know, I can't waste it. Who knows when I'm next going to get my sip of Coke, you know? I might as well drink the whole Coke. So that's why it's funny how you grew up not allowing to be playing inside much, and you grew up the exact same way. You grew up the exact same way.
Yeah, I suppose, but like, you know, in high school, I'd leave bloody year 12 to go and play Xbox at Dell's place all day.
Okay.
You know, I think I got my fair share in those last few years where I had my license and,
yeah,
you know, games to me have just not gotten any better since Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah. Bro, I downloaded the new COD and still haven't even fucking plugged my computer. Still haven't plugged that bad boy in. Still haven't plugged it in.
Yeah, bro.
I did go to Otto's house the other day and played it for the first time.
Was it good?
It was fun. It was definitely fun. I enjoyed playing it, but I think that even though I'd love to play it, bro, it's not in my goals, bro. It's not in my goals. And you know what? With the way you're smoking that vape, it brings me to a good point. To everyone who did listen to the last podcast, I did say that it would be my last podcast vaping on. And I failed. I failed. I went like maybe 5 days without buying one, ended up buying one again, but I have till tonight because it's January the 1st. And
January 1st, man.
Might as well use that excuse, so.
Right. That's exactly right. But you went a good 5-day stint, did we not? Did you not?
Yeah.
And you got to feel happy about that.
Yeah,
Everyone
I did.
makes mistakes.
Yeah, I did. My mistake was I started to accept the other boys' vapes. That's where I went wrong. And like, speaking of habit, like I think that me personally have kicked a lot of habits. Yeah. I've had a lot of fucking shit ones. Gambling was the hardest one for me. I thought nicotine is definitely harder. Nicotine is fuck, dude. It is so good. It is so fucking good. I love it.
Luckily, I've never had an addiction to nicotine. Well, I did, actually. Yeah, I did. And that's where One Puff Pat comes from the very start. Is that, I prayed that it'd make me sick. And from that point forward, bro, it made me sick. Every time I'd have puff, I would vomit. And that's where One Puff Pat comes from. One puff, I'd be gone.
Yeah. I remember when we were in Thailand. Yeah, I remember being in Thailand. You hadn't had a cigarette in, bro, at that point, probably years.
Yeah, and I was like, that looks pretty good, you know?
Yeah, just enjoy the holiday.
Yeah, on holiday.
Gave you a whole cigarette, yeah, one puff, and then you spent the next 5 minutes like, oh, bro, do you want this? But I'll have two, bro. I'm fine, I'll have two.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was sick, and I'm like, no more for me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the last time I touched a cigarette.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, Thailand was fucking at least 4 years ago when we went. Wow.
It's crazy. I can't believe I had tattoos for that long.
Yeah. It's funny for me to think about tattoos as well, which actually does bring me to something I wanted to talk about before, and that's when it comes to sacrifices that we're talking about when it comes to saving.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the biggest sacrifice that I'll have to make this year will be not tattooing myself. And how has your journey been with tattoos? Because you started off strong, bro. You were going all out.
Yeah, hard out every year for 2 years. We went to Thailand. I mean, we did a trip there ourselves, and
Yeah.
bloody, 2 weeks or a week of tattoos and.
And you went like arm, leg, and you got just limb by limb, ribs, all these things, and it's like.
And of course, I got an empty arm. It doesn't look right. I want to finish it off, and I got a leg that's almost finished, not 100%. But tattoos are expensive.
They are.
I had to put my priorities in a different lane, and I'm not saying I'm never going to get it done. I want to get it done.
Yeah. Okay.
But priorities in a different lane. Plus, I think to myself, now going to Thailand and having all the pain medication, I just don't want to get tattooed. Like, pain sucks. I just want to get tattooed while I'm asleep again.
Yeah. I did enjoy that part of being in Thailand, but since then, because I've gotten a lot more work done here, I'm enjoying the pain, bro, because I know what's coming after it. I'm enjoying every second of it because that's another piece done.
Yeah.
And that's why I do relate in the sense that for me, it's a hard sacrifice and probably the hardest sacrifice when it comes to spending, because I look at myself every day and I can see what I want. I can see, I feel like a canvas that isn't finished being painted on. And because I can imagine it, I feel like my own imagination is creating my own desires. And that's hard. That's really hard for me.
Yeah. I suppose I had to, once I bought the house, I wanted to get 35 because it's 35, whatever street. And then I was thinking to myself, man, once I get the next place, I want to get that number and I want to get that number. And I was just like, man, I'm running out of, and I'm not saying I'm completely covered, but my legs are covered, my arms covered. That's a good percentage of your body, and I'm running out of spots. And I've still got so much of my life left, and I haven't even got anything that's actually bloody meaningful, really.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What about when I have kids or when I get married to Alyssa fully? And
yeah, is that when? So you're saying that's when you want to start getting more?
Yeah, I'll probably get more then.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. I don't know. I'm gonna 100%. I'm not gonna get any for 12 months. 100%. And after then, I think I'm gonna fucking indulge. To be honest with you, hey, I'm gonna just fucking book in 10, 15 sessions or something like that. Reward myself for the hard work. If I see it being financially a good idea. If it's going to take all the money that I've done, but say I set myself up into a good position, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
But fuck, it's hard looking at myself and being okay with the fact that I'm incomplete. That's the hard thing for me, anyway.
Yeah, well, we got the rest of our lives to complete ourselves, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck, bro.
But
I want everything
think
now.
About that about anything, have the same mindset of where you're at right now in your life, and you're like, man, I'm incomplete.
Yeah.
So like you just asking for a negative mindset, in my opinion, I'm saying like I'm incomplete, whereas in reality, tattoos don't make you any different than the person you work for.
Yeah,
but I suppose you're saying.
I hear what you're saying.
As I look at myself, my skin's incomplete, and that's the same as me,
Yeah.
Yeah. But as a person, I feel complete.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And to be honest, I do feel complete as a person, and I obviously know that I have a lot of room to improve. But the difference between that and every other goal is it's like, I haven't got the body I want, let's get started on it.
Yeah.
I haven't got the money I want, let's get started on it. I haven't got the relationship I want, let's get started on it. But with tats, it's the one thing that I can find that it's like, let's not get started on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. That's mad.
Yeah. And for me, it's the only thing that will last until you die. Everything else that you spend money on will run out. Everything will break. Everything will deteriorate. Everything will lose value. Tattoos is the only thing that you purchase, spend the money on, and put the time in. And until you die, it's going to be there forever.
That's true.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love tattoos.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, and I really can't wait to get the next one, or I can't wait to get the next sleeve or whatever. And, I was going to get one at the start of the year, but then just priorities come, you get flooded out again, and it's just like your money gets drained and you're starting again from the bottom. Yeah. And that goes back into, do you find yourself being able to save at the same time? And yeah, you can save if you're good with your money. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, when you did have the first flood, did you find, first question I'll ask would be like, did you find a difference in mindset between each time it happened? Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first time it feels like it's a movie, you know what I mean? Nothing else matters. You're driving and the road's blocked and you're like, I got to find another way. And you just feel like you're in a movie, man. Yeah. You'll drive over through someone's paddock to get here to there or just anything. Yeah. And yeah, it definitely feels like a movie. But then the second time, it's just annoying. The third time, you're just like, I'm not moving my shit until it gets this high.
Yeah, I know. I did notice a change in stress level.
Yeah.
Every time like the same thing kind of happened.
Yeah.
By the third or fourth one, I was like, oh fuck, bro, I need a hand with that. And you're like, nah, it's fine. And the water was like at your backyard. You're like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, good work.
Yeah, but it's only happened. Well, yeah, it would have been the third time because it only happened 3 times. But yeah, by the third time it was just like we'll play it as ear. It's not like a fire where it runs through in 5 minutes and you got nothing left.
Yeah, and I guess practice made perfect.
That's
You
right.
knew what
I'm
to
so
do.
good at moving now.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah. But that's again, you go into the community of the street made things so much better.
Yeah.
If I didn't have them, then yeah, 100% I would have been calling everyone and saying, dude, I need you here right now.
Yeah.
If you're my mate, turn up.
Yeah, 100%.
But it never really had to come to that point, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, that's
but,
good.
Yeah, you were the only... There weren't many people that were like, oh... I suppose I'm not very public or anything like that, so
yeah. Well,
you know the situation that I'm in at that exact moment.
That's what I was about to say. Like because I was able to like go through the floodwaters because we didn't get to our door yet. 3 doors down, they might have been like get a bit more scared. We were pretty safe to be honest, and I had to drive through the floodwaters, window height of the vehicles sometimes to get to work, and no one past that bit of water had any idea what was happening out in our area. There was zero idea. I was sending the Snapchats of us on the kayaks and shit like that, and or the video of you in your actual house at the kayak, which I have to say again, please click on the link in the description because you will enjoy it. But yeah, it was mind blowing. People couldn't even imagine it.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You just can't imagine that amount of water.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the backyard of my place, it just looks like paddocks and it's down into a ditch type of thing, the paddocks, and think how the hell could water come up that high? It just does.
Yeah. Do you think that your street was one of the worst affected streets, or was there worse?
Oh, definitely a lot worse.
Yeah. Because that's even perspective again. Like, I don't know anyone that had a worse situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always going to be someone that's in a worse situation. Definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of, I actually spoke to Josh Payne today on the phone, and I'm going to go see him in like 3 weeks or so to do a podcast, maybe 4. And he's lining up with me for me. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but a few other people from his community, because I'm going to may as well make a day out of it, you know, try and do 3 or 4 while I'm there. It is a fucking 8-hour drive. So to take advantage of 3 or 4 podcasts would be good. But he said there's one person in his community who's pretty open, speaking about the fact that they lived in Lismore and the entire suburb went underwater. Lismore just went through and fucking took it all, bro. Every fucking school, house, fucking everything. And I think it would be very interesting, and I'm very curious to see how their mindset has been through the whole thing and how their lives have probably changed forever.
100%.
For something like that.
100%. That's the thing, like, when you compare it to those, you know, I'm still in my house. I can still go back at the end of the week and clean up, whereas those people, they can go back and clean up, but what's... You know, the house ain't...
There's literally not even...
there.
Yeah, there's not even houses anymore.
Yeah,
like,
and
but, yeah.
And if there was a house, you'd be like, what is that?
Yeah.
There'd be no gyprock left, nothing.
No, nothing.
The whole roof would have been caved in. It'd just be a frame, if there was a frame.
Yeah, yeah. I remember the videos. But you know what was good, as you said, on the street that you lived on where everyone was a community? I noticed that throughout all of Hawkesbury. Like, how good was it that the RAF came and everyone... Bro... We had mattresses all over our streets. We had all the cow shit from the paddocks on people's fucking... The next day it'd be gone, bro.
Yeah.
The RAF came through and just fucking
Well, I wasn't even home, and my mate Rob down the street, you know, he said to me, there's these RAF people on... He called me up, said there's these RAF people on the street. Do you want me to go down to your place and I'll tell them what to do? And I was like, yeah. And then by the time I got home, there was, the day before, tons of debris that had washed up. And then by the time I got there, they cleaned it up. Brought it all to the front in wheelbarrows and dumped it in a, you know, thing to get taken away, a dump bin to get taken away. So yeah, I never even saw him. So that was.
Oh, you didn't even see him.
No.
Oh wow, that's cool. Fuck, Rob's a sick cunt, eh?
He is.
Rob's a sick cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Rob. I like Rob
guy.
a lot. Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, bro, you've definitely opened my mind, even throughout this podcast, to look for a community to buy a house in.
Yeah, but
do you think that's luck?
So yes, 100% it's luck. There's no way you could just... You're not looking for a community when you're buying a house. You're looking for a house, you know what I mean? Like, fuck the community.
Yeah.
I'm by myself.
And
then it just so happens that people are nice on the street, but then also if you're nice, down the end of the street, no one used to wave, and I've just got an addiction to waving at people when they go past.
Yeah.
I feel like I got to be friendly.
Yeah. You've always been good at that.
Yeah.
You've always.
And I think that maybe some people would feel that way when they get tattoos, but I definitely did. It's like
I know what you're saying.
maybe people look at you differently.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
You just loving the tattoos or whatever, but at the end of the day, people do look at you differently. So you like become a nicer person because you got to show them that you're actually a really nice person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That there's two things that I always hold accountable for me being engaging and polite to people.
Yeah.
That one is 100% you. I swear to God, when I came to and I'm gonna beep that word out. Don't want to mention what school I was at. But when I came there and seeing the way you and all the other boys treated like my mum, that blew my mind because I came from another area where it was all public and it was just Jake's mum. It used to like Mrs. Doxy or things like the way you spoke to adults opened my mind to being polite. And the second thing was getting my own tattoos and being like, right, now I have to try extra hard for people not to judge me by my cover. And I have to engage the conversation first or I'm not going to get the conversation at all. I noticed it in the beginning a lot.
Yeah. I suppose being in a trade position where you're going to talk to customers all the time, you turn up people's houses and they're like, who's this dude? He looks like pretty average.
Rough. Yeah.
And you're dirty, you've been climbing someone else's roof, you're sweaty, you're smelly.
Yeah.
You got to talk to the 100% of your ability.
Yeah.
You got to present yourself to 100% of your ability.
And I do think through people like yourself and other people who are like influencers I see on even in TV shows now, I'm seeing it. People are breaking that boundary of judging a book by its cover. I think it's always been one of my massive goals.
Yeah.
I want to be successful and be able to look however the fuck I want to look.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's kind of like a new school thing.
Yeah.
Not ever back in the day, these tattoos, these piercings, these whatever were considered, rough. People were in gangs or whatever. But it's not like that anymore. People go out, get tattoos, whatever. And the times are changing. And so, at the start, I was doing work for a lot of older people, going in their houses, doing the air conditioning or whatever. And I still am. But it definitely comes from my mum, 100%.
Yeah.
My mum would slap. If I had my elbows on the table like this right now, man, she'd slap you.
Yeah.
She'd sit at the table with a wooden spoon, like.
Oh yeah.
They're ready to go.
That's crazy.
You're eating, had your elbows on the table, but
When you say elbows, are you allowed to have your forearms resting? No. Oh, you can't even have your forearms. Wow, I didn't even know that. Because I remember coming to your house and being like, you can't have elbows on the table, and I probably did sit like this, thinking my elbows aren't on the table.
Yeah. Well, that's what you think. You try to get away with as much as you can.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's comfortable, you know what I mean? At my own place, sometimes I sit like this, but if I was out in public eating, then I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But the manners go into all different sorts of levels, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
People would say, you have manners for calling her Mrs. Doxy rather than Jake's mum.
Yeah.
But so many levels.
Yeah. I think I just had the right word for it. Self-expression is so important, you know what I mean? Self-expression. Not just the way you look, but the way you carry yourself, standing up tall, sitting up straight.
Yeah, that's right. Posture.
Yeah, posture.
My mum would always say those, don't slump your shoulders,
Yeah.
All the time, every day.
Yeah. I read that in... Did you ever read Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life?
I started it.
You started it?
I haven't finished it, no.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think it was the first chapter. I'm pretty sure it mentioned walk around with your chest forward and your shoulders back. And it gave a good fucking entire chapter as to why it's important to do that. Like the way people see you look important at the end of the day.
That's right.
You look approachable.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone who's a bit more fucking hunched over. You look mopey.
Yeah. Dopey.
Yeah. And
Like
you don't bring excitement or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, you see it at TAFE. Everyone walks around like this and don't want to make eye contact. Where it's just like you walk through the hallway proud.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
And everyone will move out of the way for you.
Yeah. And oh shit, watch out. Yeah.
That seems important.
This guy know where he is, bro. It's like this. Everyone's like, sorry, sir. Let this guy go.
Yeah, exactly.
I think actually, the other day we had a very healthy, I want to call it a healthy debate, and we kind of touched on it recently. I don't want to talk about the same debate we had, but we did make good points on like technology.
Yes.
And I would like to, and the Apple Watch did remind me of it, because we were talking about how technology is kind of getting scary.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
And it's almost like technology is catching up to your own privacy. And I'm curious as to see how you think of it. Are you worried, or are you like, how do you feel about technology at the moment?
It's not that I'm worried. It's just like I can see it going too far very quickly.
Yeah.
And, you know, even the new iOS 15 update, you're allowing them to look at all of your photos and connect, you know, tell the authorities about if they find anything on those photos, or if they can listen to you and they can you know, get in touch with the authorities if they think there's anything worrying. So it's just like, now we're allowing them to, and it's just an update, you know, people are just going to be like, oh, it's just an update. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I know what you're saying.
But we are bringing them and inviting them into so much more of our lives. And, you know, I'm wearing one on my wrist right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. It's like I'm on both sides of the argument, you know. This is what I was talking to you about the other day. I can see both sides. It's like it is actually pretty scary that you have no privacy anymore. TikTok, the biggest example. Like they have access to because I've got all my logins matched up together, my computer, everything. Whatever I do on my computer they have access to whatever, because I have TikTok on my phone. And then I don't know if it goes as far, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone else in the house was using the same Wi-Fi, if they could get the same information off their phones and shit like that. It wouldn't surprise me. And
it's an IP address, isn't it?
It's like with the new update on the iPhone, as you said, they have the ability to go through all your shit, just like how the police enforced a law last year, I think it was, or maybe it was early this year, that they can actually go into your social media and pretend to be you, and they can like, I can't remember the right word for it, but they can almost lure people in, you know, find a drug dealer, find someone who's, like, there is positives to it, because I know what they were pushing with the iOS was they're looking for child pornography on everyone's phones. That's what they were pushing.
If they really cared about that shit, then they'd block it off everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can go on the internet, I'm sure, and you could look it up.
Yeah, I'm sure you can as well. And it's like, maybe put that much investment into the root of the problem.
That's right.
Instead of opening up this window of fear, you know, that everyone has, where it's like, now they are going to be able to look for child pornography on people's phones, or drug dealing, or fucking human trafficking, whatever they're looking for. But now they have access to you and your partner being out to dinner, where you like to go, what you want to do, how you're going to be spending Christmas.
Right. And we're going into this artificial intelligence era, and, you know, they're just collecting data all the time.
Yeah.
What's to say that data is actually correctly stored, you know?
Yeah.
Securely.
Yeah.
How do you know that? How do you know that this iPhone's not going to then sell off our information to somebody, and then we're going to get a replica of what we are online?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like that's what they've already done.
Yeah.
They've been listening to our phone calls, and not just our phone calls, even this conversation. If we weren't doing this podcast, they're listening to it. Yeah. And as we all know, they're going to send you ads for whatever we've been talking about. Apple Watches is going to pop up on our ads. Yeah. Things like that.
Cases or...
Yeah. And everyone thought it was a conspiracy in the beginning, but it turns out it was 100% accurate. They were selling it to advertisement spaces. That's right. And I can see technology catching up so quickly. It's just like the Black Mirror episode. But I can also see it being such a positive thing.
There's always positives and negatives to everything.
Yeah, which is like, say, for example, the Apple Watch you bought. I bet your life has become more productive since having it. You can answer the phone on the spot, things like that. I can
continue working, tinkering around, blah, blah, blah. My phone time's definitely gone down because you don't get caught up on the phone. You know,
less distractions.
Easy to go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Less distractions because you got things in your hands instead of your phone.
Yeah, and I think all technology is like that for me. Like AirPods, I think everyone should own a pair of AirPods. Like 100% it should be done, because I can educate myself or entertain myself or listen to comedy specials, whatever I want to do all day without touching my phone. And then when someone calls me, I have perfect quality hearing. Like, say, for example, Fossey. Shout out to Fossey if you're listening. But every day we talk on the phone. Say 5 or 6 phone calls a day while we're working away. and I've got my AirPods in and I'm fine. That poor guy is like, sorry, give me a second. He has to put his phone down and like quickly do something with his hands and picks it back up or puts it on speaker near him. Customers can hear what I'm saying. He has to say, dude, do you want to just like not say that so loud? There's customers right next to me. And if he had AirPods, all of those problems goes away. So my next question was like the Neuralink. Do you think you'd be interested in getting it? No.
Not me personally. No. I mean, fuck, I didn't even get the vax, so...
Yeah.
I mean, the wax.
Yeah.
So, no, me... No.
Okay.
You know...
I can see why.
We'll see how everyone else goes, but for me, I'm not even interested in that. I'm happy just... Maybe one day when I have fucking hearing problems and something gets lodged in the back of my retina...
Yeah.
I can't see properly.
Well, that's what it will be coming.
Yeah.
That's what it will get to, the health benefits of having it.
Yeah.
But I think for now, people are wanting it for the productivity benefits of it. And that's why I am signing up for it straight away. Because I also have a bit of like self-consciousness of like, because I see the productivity of having all this technology myself, as we mentioned, the glasses, it's like for work, they're so helpful for me. I can capture everything and wear my safety glasses at the same time. And with the Neuralink, I can see how I could educate, become more intellectual with having it and more productive. I can like cut little bits of time out that I don't need because information's being absorbed so much quicker. Because that's what they're pushing, you know, they're trying to say you'll be able to download intelligence and shit like that. So you can learn a new language quickly or you can learn things like that. And I feel like if I don't have it, maybe everyone else will advance so much quicker than me and I'll be left far behind. And by the time I get it, it'll be like when I download COD finally and everyone's max level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then it's like I have to try and catch up.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to be left behind technology-wise. Because for me, bro, everywhere you look is fucking technology.
Yeah.
I love it. And I want to know if you feel like it will become a thing that everyone does eventually have or not.
I think that if it is what they say it will be, I don't think everyone could just afford it. You know what I mean? It's going to be like you're talking about being able to download information like you're from the Matrix, you know, learn how to fight in 10 minutes type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be out of all of a majority of people's price range, and once they get it, they're going to be able to advance, 100%, but it's going to leave everyone else in the dust. If it is what they say it is, but then this is where it freaks me out because it's like, what's to say that there's not going to be a subscription that you have to pay this X amount of whatever, and I think it could even come into time because that's what is most valued about everybody. Money's not going to be really...
Yeah.
Money's printable, so it doesn't... Whatever.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
That's where like TikTok, you're holding everyone's time up. And technology, you could say, it's made us advance, but it's also made us so much fucking dumber. Yeah.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right. And you just made me realize the point when you said subscription.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what if you do have to pay like YouTube? YouTube used to be fucking just watch all day. And now I'm fighting the urge not to just pay for the fucking red subscription because I'm sick of these fucking ads.
Yeah.
And I'm stopping myself from doing it.
Yeah.
But what if like I can't fucking focus without getting rid of these distractions? I have to pay to get rid of them. Which is like another Black Mirror episode. Fuck, they did such a good job of that fucking show. But I guess without having it in the first place, nothing can get any worse. With it can only get better. But I guess by installing it, things could get better or it could get worse.
Yeah, but once you have it installed, is there such thing as getting it uninstalled?
Yeah. Or even
you know
like...
what I mean? And it's like you're giving them... And say, let's just say you don't resubscribe or whatever. You're like, oh, I can't afford it this year, you know?
Who knows what's going to pop up all day.
But who knows if they're just going to be able to turn it off?
You
know what I mean? What if they just turn it off and you got fucking one arm again?
Yeah, fuck, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because I've always imagined a future like that. I've always imagined a future. To be honest, I thought of it one day on shrooms. I was on shrooms. I was looking at people in a way where it was like I could see their injuries as if it was like dark and everything else was light.
Yeah.
And I kind of saw it from a matrix perspective of what if you could fix that one part of them that is broken, and how much would it cost to do that? It might cost $500,000 for a new set of arms or a new set of legs because they're just deteriorating. And maybe with that fucking Neuralink, to be able to keep seeing or to keep hearing, you'll have to pay that money.
100%, bro. Nothing's going to be free.
Yeah.
Especially when they have control over you.
Yeah.
And you, by allowing them to have access and control over your brain, I mean, that's your control right there.
Yeah. And I guess they've already created, when I say they, we're talking about the people that are way higher than us.
Yes.
They've already created a structure where you have to pay everything just to get by. It takes all of your time and all your money just to get by.
That's right.
And you have to fucking push past that to succeed. That's going to be the exact same thing with the Neuralink, realistically.
Yeah. Okay, there might be a price to get it put in your head, right? You want to learn karate? There's going to be a price for karate. You want to learn this? There's going to be a price for that. I mean, nothing comes free. That teaching, that programming, someone's got to do it. Even if it's AI, they're making money. Someone's got to make that AI or whatever. But like,
yeah, you're right.
You know, it's just an endless cycle of thinking. You know, it's not, at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to make any. Some people are going to definitely benefit it, but I don't think it's going to make a society happier.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Not that everyone's chasing happiness, you know, that's not what I don't think we're here for. But like,
good, because I think the exact same thing. I think we're chasing accomplishment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, happiness. We talked about this yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We were talking about it, where everything. It wasn't yesterday, but anyway, we were talking about how everything that's good and everything that's great is shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything, if it's not hard, it's not worth it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday? In the car talking about the car, you know.
Oh, yeah, we were.
That's right. And nothing comes easy. It's the old fucking gay ass sayings.
Yeah.
You know, but they're 100% true.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess by downloading this fucking information, it comes with a cost.
It's going to come with a major cost.
Yeah. Fuck, you're fucking opening my mind to all the negatives about it, which is, I kind of thought you would do that. I kind of thought you would do it.
I'm not trying to make negatives. It's just like,
realistic.
I see it as
realistic.
This is, you know, robots versus humans, and I'm on the human side.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess you're not looking at it from a negative way. You are looking at it from a realistic perspective. Yeah.
Try to be.
Yeah. It could go that way, but why wouldn't it? Yeah. Why wouldn't it go that way?
I mean, if any businessman had it their way, I'm sure that they'd do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Elon Musk he's a great businessman at the end of the day, and
I think he is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Do you think that if people do get it, there'll be a period of time? Because that's the one thing that I'm trying to think about the most, like whether everyone's going to get it or not, whether it will be such a leap in evolution. Because I kind of see evolution in that state. Technology is evolution for humans at the moment. For a long time, society was our evolution, which set us above any other species. And now I think technology is our next evolution. And now society needs to catch up.
Yeah.
And whether everyone will have it or not is my biggest concern. Not concern, but question. Do you think everyone will have it, or do you think
I don't think everyone will have it unless they start.
But what if there's leaps and bounds? What if there's leaps and bounds and it's such a obvious thing that you're going to be left behind?
Then it just goes back into the money thing, you know. People are going to advance that have it and took that risk into getting it and being able to keep up with, you know. You got to be able to afford it to get it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to come at a major cost. You're putting something in your brain.
Yeah. I disagree. I think it will become an everyday cost. Think about an iPhone, right? When iPhone 3 came out, I remember my mum got one. I think her work bought it, and it was $300. And holy my gosh, $300 back then was so much money. This is 15 years ago, and now the average price of an iPhone's, I think now they might have gone down to like $1,500 or $1,600, but say $2,000 for an iPhone, and everyone has a fucking iPhone. Everyone has a fucking $2,000, $1,500 fucking phone, and that's because we've become accepting to the fact that it's so expensive, but they're also to make the advanced technology so cheap at the same time. And I think maybe in the beginning it'll be $100,000 for a Neuralink, but they're going to try and get it down to $5,000, $3,000 even. And I think if that ever happens, I see it becoming a thing that everyone does have.
Yeah, I mean, if that ends up happening, then yeah, it's going to be like a mobile phone, isn't it?
Yeah, I see it as like the next phone. You can't have a phone now. It's like not having a fucking email address.
Yeah, but then it goes back into like, you know, phones need to be updated.
Yeah, you're right. Because when emails first came out, a lot of people were like, what the fuck would I ever need that for? And now imagine not having it. You can't.
But then, you know, we're going to get to the same point that we're at already, whereas the people that, if everyone got it, there's still going to be people that fucking take advantage of it and become smart as fuck. And then there's still going to be those bums that sit on the couch with a Neuralink and like
download porn and fucking all that shit.
And imagine how many many distractions are going to be on there, you know?
Yeah,
and
you're right.
People are just, they're looking to get sucked into that type of shit.
Do you see it as something that you would find much control of? With myself, I think that for the most part, I think I would have good control at the temptations, but I still find myself opening Facebook and shit like that when I don't need to.
I think everyone has addictions, bro. Like what you've said that to me before, and everyone does. Whether it's looking at their phone, smoking other stuff, smoking vapes, drinking too much.
Junk food, jerking off, exercise, fucking seeing your family, seeing your friends.
Exactly.
Even like working. Everything is an addiction.
Yeah.
Everything is an addiction.
Exactly.
And I think I'd probably be pretty distracted with a Neuralink. I think would.
That everyone in the entire world. Imagine something being so fun all the time. Like reality would become shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure they'll combine eventually, but the metaverse and the Neuralink, I mean, it'll be the one fucking system, don't you reckon?
Yeah, of course.
You jump onto the metaverse without even putting on glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You're in an alternate reality because you've got this chip in your brain that can alter your eyes and alter what your vision is.
Yeah. Well, fuck, that's a crazy world to think about.
Yeah, I know, and that's going like I've never had that thought before, but that's going deep.
Yeah. I'm thinking, what if some people get it and some people don't? Do you reckon we'd have to have special kind of categories for people? Like, you know how we have sport? Say, for example, you got natural bodybuilding and we have steroid bodybuilding. Do you think we'll have like certain kind of athletic abilities that will be beneficial through that? Or?
I think so. I mean, what you're saying is that it's going to be, and I haven't looked into the Neuralink heaps, but if what I'm understanding of what you're saying is, and this is
their plan.
Many conversations that we've had about it.
Yeah.
I think that there will be categories because you taking a normal athlete, a human, and then you are making a little bit of a robotic version.
You're enhancing them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like taking drugs. Do you think that those people should be in the NFL?
I think they should have their own league. That's the difference between sport. Because I think that you can't do any drugs and do sport. But I think, what if you could, bro? Imagine how fucking far these cunts could throw a football. Why don't they do that? Why don't they fucking allow them?
I reckon it's so that people would then say, oh, man, if this guy could do it, I could do it. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden people just become fucking monsters and have this crazy self-improvement thought, yeah? And that's not what... I don't think that's what anyone above us would want us to do.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I guess, like, how far do you let people go? Yeah, but that goes against my other belief, and I believe you should allow people to do whatever they want as long as they don't harm anyone else.
Of course. And that's just, like, a human thing. But if you were powerful and you had all of these people that you were... You know, you were sort of controlling or leading... And you can either lead, you know, some people will be on this side of the fence or some people will be on the side of the fence. So there's always going to be a leader. You could easily lead people into corruption.
Yeah, and I think that it would be hard to control too. Like, think about how hard it is already to control fucking... Say you had a bunch of pro athletes and they all wanted to fucking go out one night and get pissed. Think about the law enforcement you need to control them people. Yeah. Imagine if they were all superhuman.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, fuck. Speaking of, and I like this Neuralink conversation because it's so open and creative. But do you reckon law enforcement and shit are gonna have it to keep up with the criminals?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's just gonna be like.
Well, then
once
that happens, I think it's over. Everyone's gonna have to get it. If the government are superhuman, we're gonna have to keep up with the government. We can't allow them to have leaps and bounds above us. It's already a fucking fight against negative empowerment. You know, when there's a fucking piece of shit person in power, you want to feel like you can take advantage. You don't want to feel like he can take advantage of you. Anyone who's in power, as long as the power is for good, you're happy to abide by it. But I think if all the police and all the enforcement are hooked up to this fucking thing that can just fucking read your every move and calculate how quickly you can make decisions, and
they'll be walking through the shops, they'll be able to get your facial recognition, you know, and be like, oh, there's that person that's on right there, bang.
Yeah. And I think they're gonna have to have that, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're right about we're right about that. And I think that once that happens, I reckon everyone's gonna get it. Fuck, it's a scary fucking conversation, eh?
Yeah, bro. It is, because I've been actually not even wanting to face the reality of technology. I suppose I don't want to actually look into that side of things because I know exactly where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be good, in my opinion. But yeah.
But I think that good will always win. I think that we worry a lot about it.
Yeah, of course. I used to be a fucking worrywart, bro.
Yeah.
A few years ago, you know. I thought that the government was going to bloody come after me and do this or that, or, you know, take away my house if I didn't do what they wanted in terms of the vax or whatever.
Yeah.
And
they could have. It was definitely a possibility, which is why you had those thoughts, which is like why we're having those thoughts now.
And I suppose I was just looking at things, you know, that I'd read on social media, friends in America, and they'd be like, oh, this person this happened to them, and it'd be like, whoa, this is
possibility.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And that's all we're doing now. We're creating possible futures, but which are likely but not certain, you know. At the same time, we should also be looking at the fact that we could also live a life with this Neuralink that links us all together in a creative way that our phones have also done. And yes, our phones have our distractions, but they allow us to organise what time to do this podcast. They allow all the boys to come over tonight for New Year's. They allow me to call my nan, for example.
Yeah.
And I guess we do get fixated on all the things that are there, but we still have the decision to be distracted or not. And that will most likely be an outcome with the Neuralink. That will most likely be an outcome. You'll have the option to choose to be distracted or not. I think so.
Yeah. Definitely a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, once again, there's positives and negatives of everything.
Yeah. Say, for example, you did get the Neuralink, right? What would be one thing that you would love to instantly learn? Or say you didn't have to get the Neuralink. Let's just use it for a fucking ability, right? What's one thing that you think would be amazing to just learn instantly?
I think it'd be sick to just learn another language.
Another language?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be mad to like learn Mandarin and then go over to Alyssa's place and just say to her dad, like,
what's up, bros?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your day?
Yeah.
And be like,
yeah. Or he says, how was your day? And you talk about your whole day in Mandarin.
Yeah.
Sorry, fucking.
And then he's like, I don't even speak Mandarin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was born
fucking
here, bro.
Racist gun. Yeah.
No, yeah. Or like Chinese, I don't know.
Yeah. I always thought I'd like to learn deaf, like sign language.
Yeah.
But I recently learned that sign language isn't universal. You know, sign language is different in every country. So if you spent the whole time...
sign language was universal.
No, it's apparently not. I heard that like a month ago. Which is like, it ruins my whole plan of being able to be signed. Because I can't even fucking use it, bro. What the fuck? Fuck it. Not worth it. Alright, if I was to be able to have any ability instantly learned, I would probably choose maybe like an instrument, to be honest with you. Maybe a mad instrument. I'd love to be able to play guitar super well.
Yeah, and
guitar
sing.
would be
You know, you get it out by a campfire and everyone's like...
I've asked someone else this question, but would you ever pay money to be able to have a mad, amazing voice if it didn't mean you instantly were going to become a great, famous singer and make heaps of money? Everyone just knew you had an amazing voice and wanted to hear you sing. Would you pay money for that ability?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Oh, I would pay it all.
I suppose, I do like to sing.
Like, imagine...
And, it'd be nicer to be able to listen to yourself and be like, yeah, that's a good voice. But at the end of the day, like... No, if everyone was just like, yeah, that guy can sing, then no, not really. I wouldn't want to pay money for that.
Oh, I just love the ability to be able to sing so confidently. That would be so good. That'd be so good.
But like, where would you bust that out? Like at a wedding or something, and then people would be like, hey,
while
bro,
I'm
could you
listening-
sing at my wedding? You're like, I can't do that, man. I can't get famous at this.
Yeah. Yeah, true. It's against the rules. What the fuck did I do? This is torture. Yeah, where would I use that? I would probably use it in like... Alright, well, if there was a person in our group that could sing amazingly, would it be annoying or not if they sung all the time?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, good point.
100%.
Good point. Because
Have you ever been around some dude that just fucking plays the guitar all the time and he's just like singing and you're like,
shut
put
up.
that away, bro.
We're fucking talking, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, dude, it's been 24 hours. You're still carrying that guitar around?
Yeah. I guess we do. We have both met people from school who would sing all the time, and it was annoying as fuck, eh? And they are good singers.
Yeah, but
They just didn't sign up for this fucking
where
lesson.
did we get them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we didn't sign up for this
Yeah,
fucking...
they probably still ran their shitty circles.
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hear. Well, you know what? That question I just asked you leads me to a segment that I like to do. So I used to do the segment of Would You Rather, but it's not that anymore. It's now called Deep Questions.
Ooh.
And
Steve.
they do get deep. They do get deep, which is why I'll answer the first one first, so you feel a bit more comfortable, because they are deep questions.
All right.
And the first one, honestly, this is coincidence because I never get to see them before I do it. Is it possible to find true love in arranged marriages?
In arranged marriage.
In arranged marriages. And as I said, I'll answer it first.
Yeah.
Because I think yes. And I think the idea of an arranged marriage is something that I would be excited to do, but it's not my culture, you know. Usually the parents go out and they meet up and they discuss each other's children. And I guess it did start in a sense of like purchasing, you know, I'll trade you for my son to marry your daughter. But now it's at a stage where it's like you're almost giving out resumes. That's what Delvin told me. Some cultures give out resumes for whether people to arrange marriage for kids. But I really do think that you can choose who you love. I really do think that. And I think that when it comes to our society of marriage, you choose whether you want to put up with that person's bad habits or not. And I think that if you have the right mindset and you have the same partner, you can find love in arranged marriage.
Definitely. I definitely think that it's possible to find love within an arranged marriage. And then, you know, what you're saying is it all depends on how hard you're willing to work at the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is about every marriage must be about, every relationship is about sacrifice and you do put work into it. And that's the one scary thing about an arranged marriage is do they have the same values? Which is why arranged marriages are good in culture, because you have the same religious background. So you know that your values are going to be the same. As a fucking white boy in a country of opportunity and freedom and no religious empowerment, I don't think the chances of me finding someone through an arranged marriage are that likely.
No, it's not going to happen for us.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because I would be open to that possibility.
Yeah, of course. I suppose it's hard for me to think because I've got Alyssa, but yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I would have said, no, that's fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
I would have too. Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There is something nice about, in its own way, about parents wanting their children to do well and finding the right partner for their child. And, you know, that's what it's all. Parents are going through all this effort and, you know, and I'm not saying that it's the right thing to do, whatever. I want people to make their own choices, but it is a beautiful thing in its own that the parents are wanting so much for their children. Yeah. Which is why, and I don't want to step on anyone's religious decisions and cultural decisions, but I like the idea of choosing to have an arranged marriage or not. And I know that goes against a lot of people's foundations, but if you could put trust in your parents to find that person for you, I would put trust in my parents to find that person for me. Yeah, or are you saying like, once they choose that person, you're like, oh, no, man.
Well, it's like some people, which we can discuss it off camera if you aren't aware of who, but they have been told to have an arranged marriage and they've said no. And it's been like, no, but they've actually been in love with someone and they're not allowed to be with that person. I think that wouldn't create a healthy marriage if you wanted to be with someone else, which is why the idea of having your own option is the best option.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that person's already, and I suppose that would happen all the time where the person would be in love
all the time
with someone else and they get forced to be with someone. And that's where it was like, it's quite sad really, because
It's an ancient story that's
Yeah.
been told for every
Yeah,
tradition. Yeah.
It's a lot of movies, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, I've never been in that situation. I can't really comment too much.
Yeah. I haven't been in it either. But I think we both have the same understanding on it, where
Yes.
it's like, yeah, you can find true love in an arranged marriage.
Of course.
As long as you both work on your foundations.
That's right. You work on the relationship, you'll be able to compromise on what you thought were going to be great in a relationship or whatever. You're going to be compromising pretty quickly.
Yeah. All right, cool. What do you want more than anything else in life?
Well, number one thing I want in life is just to continue to learn and grow.
Good answer.
You know, without growth, I don't think I would be who I am. I don't think I'd be anything. I've been a miserable old sack of shit. And yeah, you know, without wanting to grow, I don't even think that Alyssa would want to be with me because I'd be a sack of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I would be unattractive to any female.
Yeah.
If I was just laying on the couch.
Yeah.
Not just to Alyssa, but yeah, to anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That shows self-appreciation because you have that ability and you want to keep that ability. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I asked you, I've been trying to work it out, and it's like, obviously you have your family and you have these things as well, but you went deeper than that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna copy you. Eh? Usually I try to make a different answer just so it's entertaining, but I couldn't answer that any better myself. The ability to keep improving.
Yeah. You know, because I was originally going to say, happiness, but we said earlier that happiness is sack of shit, and it's just something that you feel when you've done something accomplishing.
Yeah, yeah, and I have made this point before, but happiness can be achieved through such mediocre tasks.
That's exactly right.
And everything we said about addiction, porn,
that's exactly right.
fucking drugs, nicotine, fucking food, all that Xbox, TikTok, all this shit creates endorphins. That's what happiness might be: dopamine and serotonin, and it's so mediocre. It's so easy to attain happiness.
It is so easy to attain, and that's why they're making it so easy to attain, you know? Because once you have that happiness, it's easy to get depressed, you know? It's easy to lay there after you fucking, you know, your own, and feel sad about yourself, but that's exactly what they want. They want you to be upset and depressed and be in your own little world, because once you're in your own little world, you can't get out there and be with everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. All right. Well, yeah, self-improvement. If anyone ever asks me that question, I'm going to have the same answer. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or the body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of life, which one would you want?
The mind.
The mind, oh, bruh.
You're telling me you're going to be a 30-year-old in a fucking 90-year-old's brain in a 30-year-old body?
100%. I'm locking that one in. I'll be at 90 years old, but I'll be back in a 30-year-old's body.
So you got fucking dementia, and you're in a 30-year-old body, and you're like, how do I walk again?
No. But we're assuming that you have dementia when we say that. We're assuming you have dementia.
Are we saying that you're a perfectly healthy 90-year-old person?
That's how I imagine the question.
All right, well, then I would rather be...
That's how I imagine the question.
I'd rather be what you said, because... But the chances of someone being 90 with a full mental capacity...
I think are high.
I don't.
You don't think they're high?
Not today, not with all these pills and prescriptions and shit that's going on. No. I
think that we're becoming so educated through sharing and telling each other stories now that people are starting to switch up and be a bit more on the healthy side as opposed to things have been in the last 50, 60 years. And I think by the time we're 90, technology might even catch up to the sense where you won't feel like you're 90, but your mind might still be 90. Yeah. But I'm assuming like you're a healthy 90-year-old. Yeah. I'd love to go back into a 30-year-old.
Of course, I'd love to have 90 years of experience. Yeah. You know, not within a 30-year-old body. I mean, you'd be an unstoppable machine. Yeah.
That's actually from a TV show on Netflix called Travelers. And the premise of it is they live in a faraway future of, say, the year 4000, and there's nothing left. Everyone's just... Technology's taken over. There's no more agriculture. There's nothing. Everyone's just fucked. And they realize that humans have gone wrong over time, and they invent this machine that can send them back into someone's body from the year 2000 and help make decisions to stop the future from becoming so shit. So the future's already shit, but they're going to try and rewrite everyone else's future. And they override someone else's body who was about to die. So it's not like they're stealing someone's life. They were about to die in that 1 second. They overrided it and they stepped back from that car, or they didn't fucking overdose on drugs or whatever they did. And one guy was, I think, 110, and he overrided this guy's body who was 16 or 17. And that's always been an envious decision of mine. Like, if I could do that, I would do that.
Yeah.
Because he was super smart and he was so educated.
If I had my great grandma's brain in my body, or in a
let's say 25-year-old body,
yeah, then you'd be
a beast.
crazy.
All right. Looking back, what is one thing that you would take back, or a mistake you would reverse?
It's so hard to think about, like, because I think of it life as, if I didn't make these decisions, I would not be the person I am today. And so, even all those hard times, things that I've thought in the moment, geez, I wish I didn't do this, or I wish I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Yeah. I do talk about that a lot on here. Yeah.
So there's not necessarily one specific thing where I'm like, oh, I regret that.
Yeah, I have no regrets either.
Yeah, but it probably would be like, I'm not in school. I wish that I was more encouraging to everyone else around me, instead of just like, I don't know what I was doing, but playing around or being a dick. I wish that I was more encouraging to everyone else and showed them that they had a lot of potential rather than just like breaking them down or whatever.
Yeah, I get you. Well, I like that answer as well. I like that. And I'm the same. I have no regrets because it made me who I am today. And if I hadn't done it before, I'd do it in the future.
Yeah.
But to get fucking a bit depressing about it, I would definitely make phone calls that I think I should have made that could have changed outcomes. You know what I mean? Like, say, for example, with Luke Mount, if I could take it back, I would just call him. Just I have no control over it, but I would call him if I could go back in time. Maybe the decision might not have been made. Maybe he might not have committed suicide, but that's not a regret. I don't feel like it was my responsibility to do that, and I don't hold myself accountable for his decision.
Yeah, but it's just something that comes up in your brain.
It's something that I always think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. So I think that anyone that goes through something like you've been through, losing someone so close to you, and then through their own decisions as well, you're like, what could I have done to make that situation
different? Yeah,
exactly.
And I think it's like fucking, I tell you what, I do love Luke entirely, and it's the worst fucking thing to ever happen to me personally, but he has grown me up so much since that decision. You know what I mean? It's so weird to say, but like, I'm so much better of a friend to everyone else now. And I think that was, I'm going to try and not get emotional, straight up. But I do think, I'm thanking him a lot because he has definitely evolved me 100%. And that's why I'm still fucking kicking him for it, but I'm in a weird way thanking him for what he has done to me, I'm thanking for what he has done for me, not to me. Yeah. Because I still have a massive part of me that's so pissed off at him. Massive.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, I managed to fucking hold back tears in that. I was surprised. I was fucking pretty close for a second then, I have to say. Yeah. All right, cool. All right. When is it okay to spy on your kids? This is something that we're going to have to deal with pretty soon in the future.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was thinking the other day, my neighbour said, my daughter has a phone and I have a password to it, and, that's going to be the way it is until she's 18. I just thought to myself, like, there has to be a line as a parent that you draw. Of course you want to keep your children who are 12 from getting in contact with people that you don't know about, or child predators, or you don't even know what's out there on the internet anymore. And but there has to be a line where it's drawn, where you say, this is my child's life, and I'm willing to step away from, if they want to come and talk to me about a problem, they can come and talk to me about a problem, but you're meant to teach your children to have a a certain age. I don't know what age that is.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. You're saying when they become more cognitively
that's right,
functionable.
Think about things themselves. And as a parent, I've done my due diligence to show them what is right and wrong. They're going to have to make their own mind up from a certain age, you know, and it's going to be up to them. Otherwise, those children, they're not going to want to talk to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're going to want to go and hide off and do their own thing and
You're
get a
rebellious.
second phone, and run away, or you know, I want them to be part of my life. I don't want them to run away.
Yeah, I think that we've grown up in a scary era for parents with internet. Sorry, not just technology, with the internet, and people are being lured and fucking all these crazy things that parents worry about. But I think we can learn from that and give our kids as much privacy as they need, as long as they're completely honest. If they meet someone online, tell us about it. That's what I'm going to be teaching my kids. If you meet someone online, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I want to know what's happening. And until you lie to me, I will not need to take initiative and invade on your privacy, as long as you don't lie to me about it. And the best quote I ever heard about parenthood was, your kids are driving the vehicle and you're in the passenger seat, and your job is just to grab the steering wheel in case they're going to crash into something.
Yeah.
And you just let them spread their wings and be free like a fucking gazelle. And then, as long as they're not going to harm themselves and you can see it, then it's not really your position to fucking almost tell them what to do, you know? Yeah. So I don't think it's okay to spy on your kids, as long as you enforce...
No, I don't
not
think
lying.
it's okay to spy on your children. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
We both
It's
agree.
tough on that one.
Definitely.
We don't have children. So it's just like,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I guess like I hear many podcasts about people talking about the first thought they had when they had a kid, and it just changed them forever. Which is why it's good that we can talk about it now and then talk about it again in fucking 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Right now,
Hopefully we both have kids in 5 years, bro.
Yeah. I think it's definitely a possibility for me in the future by 5 years, yeah. Right now, are you accomplished enough to not be concerned about your death?
I think about dying all the time.
Yeah.
And I think about, if I died tomorrow, not that I'm depressed or anything like that, but I do think, your life can get taken away from you so fast. And I think if I died tomorrow, would I be satisfied? And, at this point in time, 100%, but there's always going to be things that, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that.
Yeah.
Or I wish I spent this time better. And I think that by actually thinking about death, and that it's a possibility, because no one wants to face the reality of that we are going to die.
Yeah.
And, that in itself is a little bit motivational as well, because you're like, man, I haven't got out there and I haven't done this or I haven't done that. And, I wanted to paint my car. I wanted to do this. And it's like, well, what are you waiting for?
Yeah. Yeah. The ability to be taken away at any moment is motivating.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is, it's like my goal is to live forever.
Yeah.
If I could, I would.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do all the stem cells, and I'm going to have all the fucking artificial inseminations that I need. But it's like the lottery. If I win it, I would choose to win it. If I don't win it, I'm happy with that. So if I was to die any time between now and forever, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Just like the lottery.
Yeah. And I suppose, I'm okay with dying tomorrow. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, lots of things that are going through my brain that I'm like, man, I haven't done that or this or that.
And that's the motivating part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, that's motivating.
Yeah.
It's not really depressing or anything.
No, it's not. All right. If you had to replace all of your hearing with one sound continuously for the rest of your life, what would it be? I like these ones. You've gone first for a little bit, so let me go.
Yeah.
All right. If I was to replace everything with the same sound over and over and over again, it would probably be... I want to say something like laughter, but maybe that would turn into a bit more like a laugh track, like as in like when you're watching Friends, just...
Or like you ate too many mushrooms and you just hear voices.
Yeah, and you... Yeah. But it's no matter what, it's going to be a shit situation. But if I was to replace it with anything, it would probably be... Oh, you know what? What if I could replace it with like a... What hardstyle frequency does it run at? How many BPMs is it? Like 200 and something? Is it like 250 BPM? What's hardstyle? Imagine that's all you could hear every time you did hear noise. No matter what, it's going to be shit. But imagine you could find that rhythm, and you could use it for exercise, and you could use it for tasks, and you could use it for everything like that. And you're just pumping shit out all the time.
What's that hertz frequency that no one can hear?
Oh, fuck. I think you can't hear less than a certain, like 30 something or something. I don't know. Yeah. But you'd like to hear that and see what it sounds like?
I just like to hear nothing, you know? One noise to me just sounds awful.
Okay.
I imagine a bird chirping.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's all you heard. And like, yeah, it sounds really nice when you just hear it out in the bush. But fuck, imagine hearing a bird chirping all the time.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I like what you're saying. That was a good answer, but it was a cop out. It was good. You like, if I could hear anything, it'd be nothing. Yeah, alright. That beats my fucking BPM. That'd be fucked. That'd be so fucked. Alright, we'll do a few more of these.
Okay.
If you had to establish an entire country based on 3 simple rules, what would they be?
3 rules, man. That is so fucking tough. You go. I don't know.
Alright, I think the first one would be, I want to say, like, obviously no murder,
Okay.
but there's so many things that are wrong, so I'm going to say the first rule would be anything that you do will be done to you. So, like, if you want to fucking go out and be a fuckwit and harm someone, the same punishment will be done back to you. And even though I don't agree with the death penalty and things like that for murder, I think that if you're going to build a society, you got to have fucking punishment. So that'd be the first one. The second one would be maybe mandatory exercise. It can be as simple as going for a walk. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be crazy.
Yeah.
And the third one would be you have to put effort into one thing, at least one thing, whether it be work or a hobby or a partner or anything. You have to put effort into
You
it.
can't just be no one.
No, and it has to be.
nothing.
You don't have to improve, but you have to prove that you're trying to improve. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you could cop out so easily and be like, I want to improve on my Xbox ability. But then imagine the society you'd have, everyone would be proficient at something, you know? Yeah, you wouldn't have bums.
Yeah. It's so easy to be a bum these days.
Oh, God, it'd be so good. I've done it for a while.
Yeah, I wanted to leave work so bad and just be a bum for ages.
Yeah.
Then I pushed through it and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is... I think that everyone in the community should have to then reinvest in the community.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So
So not necessarily tax, the way the government's in control, but everyone's involved. But maybe a government who makes sure people spend their money in a good way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe if a government didn't have tax, maybe it would be a better government, because I wonder what a society would be like if you didn't have to give money to something that you had no control over, but you did have control over it, and the government makes sure you did it. I've never thought about that before.
Because what's the tax rate of Dubai?
0.
Yeah, so like you look at Dubai and the infrastructure there and the crime rate, everything like that. I mean, it seems pretty safe. Millionaires all over the place, billionaires, and
Yeah.
the cities, the infrastructure that they're building, it's just like it's going to be the city of the future.
Yeah.
It already is.
Like, imagine how shit is it that you have to pay. We have to pay tax 3 times, and it gets fucking more expensive the more money you earn, and then you don't even decide where your money goes. They give it out to fucking these bullshit causes that you know
That's
are a
exactly
waste of
right.
money,
Or like, yeah,
and all these
the
things.
wall that they're fucking, yeah.
All this shit. But then what if you could be like the government, and I reckon you could build a society like that straight up. I want to choose to put 1% into schools, 1% into hospitals, 1% into roads, 1% into like Centrelink, shit like that. Yeah, I reckon it would be a better society.
Definitely.
I wonder if anyone's had that thought before.
The thing is that these, in our system, they only care about 4 years, period. So these rules that they're implementing now, they're not really going to take place until like 2035. So in reality, it's just like get as much money as we possibly can, put it in this trust, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
That's my 4 years over.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every single politician's like that, but I would, there'd be a pretty big influence on your shoulders if you were that person.
Oh, yeah. You don't go into politics in today's society to help better society.
No.
You go in it for personal gain.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I like that one. That was a good first one. Yeah.
And now I have 2 more to come up with.
Unfortunately, yeah. unfortunately.
Okay, yeah. I think that, what you're saying about the physical fitness is a great point. You know, imagine if no one was making themselves overweight, which is pretty much giving yourself a disability in reality. If no one was overweight, people would be so much more productive. And then thirdly, as a society, I probably would take away a lot of technology.
Okay.
You know, you don't need to spend all day on TikTok. People do it.
Yeah.
And it's what you're saying is like they're not self-improving. They're not doing anything for society. They're just being bums, taking up bandwidth.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
yeah, they're just using up your mental capacity. Yeah.
Causing problems.
All right, cool. Well, that was good. We'll do 2 more.
Okay.
All right, 2 more. I hate it when the podcast reaches the stage where I have to get off it.
Because
you know what I mean?
Batteries?
No, because of time. Like, it's 5 o'clock now. We've got to go shops and buy shit for dinner, shit like that. But it always leaves room for episode 2.
That's exactly right.
All right. Do you believe people are mostly good or mostly bad?
Mostly good.
Mostly good. Good. You're the first person to ever agree with me on that point that I've sat down with.
I think that people are good from the get-go. It would be, influence of society, everything else. Then rappers, this, that, the music, pushing people in a negative influence. If there wasn't anything like that, and it was just up to your parents, you'd be a good person.
Yeah.
Depending on your parents, but yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's both. I think it's good or it's bad. It's the same saying as the glass is half empty or the glass is half full. You choose whether people are good or you choose whether people are bad because it's yin yang carries itself out through everything, every single part of life.
Yeah.
And I choose to believe people are good. That's my decision. Good. We agree on that one.
If you thought to yourself every single person's bad, you're just going to be paranoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means that you probably just think you're a bad person, those people. You know what I mean? Like if you're thinking every single person's bad, you're thinking that you're bad. Yeah,
that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Because I don't think every person's going to go and punch me head in, but at one point I was thinking to myself, like, when I was fighting, I'd love to punch everyone's head in. And so then you just think everyone else wants to punch my head in. So it just makes you paranoid.
Yeah, you're right. Fight training fucking put me in a crazy loop, bro, when we were training with Adam.
Back then, and everyone was talking about this or that. And it's just like...
just fight stories all the time, and we used to walk around with bats and weapons, whatever we needed, just to keep ourselves safe, because we were so paranoid. Yeah, you're right. All right, we'll do one more.
Yeah.
So I'll find a good one. All right. Last question. Do you control your feelings or do your feelings control you?
It's a tough one.
And it's all right not to be wrong. You can just say what you're thinking.
I think most of the time, unless I'm out of my mind, then I would control my feelings. But then sometimes, the dog barks too many times, pisses you off, you've told it to be quiet. It makes you mad. And so then at that point, I can't. Sometimes I can't control myself, but I think I'm getting better at it. Yeah. That's cool. I think of feelings different than I think of like habits, especially, even though a lot of people put them together. But Suki said something to me one time where he's like, a man who controls his feelings is in charge. A man who lets his feelings control him is automatically losing. Yes.
And I practiced that ever since he told me it. And that's why when I have those short moments of rage, I can now I'm getting so quick at controlling them that I almost don't necessarily feel rage anymore. Unless it's something that seriously infuriates me, which I can think of them right now, like to protect my family or things like that. They get me rolled up. But say I've been on a date for the first time with someone, I can feel myself getting involved in the date. I can almost take control of that feeling and assess that I'm feeling it and then decide, right, are my emotions overriding my realism? And then I can maybe assess it from a different perspective, like, no, my feelings are just getting a bit out of hand here. I'm getting excited, might be getting horny, I might be enjoying the attention, and I can actually look at it from a more realistic perspective. Yeah. So I think I'm in a stage where my feelings control me, but I haven't always been like that. Yeah. No, I control my feelings, but I haven't always been like that.
Yeah, and it's something that, you got to just continually learn over your lifetime. Because there's always going to be something that really gets you going, Yeah. Your emotions will play out, and then you'll be like, man, you feel awful. I'm sure you've been in that situation where... Yeah. And you just feel like shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, that's where we got to look back and think about those moments and learn from them.
Yeah. And I think that you can not only just do it with things like anger, but you can do it with being upset.
Yeah.
You can do it with being nervous, happy. You can do it for any decision, any emotion, sorry. Yeah.
I don't know what they all are, or the sayings, but, you know, never make a promise when you're happy. Never...
Well, I haven't heard that one. Never make a promise when you're happy. That makes sense.
Because you're like, oh, I promise you we'll go out. But then you're so ecstatic or whatever that you want to make the other person just as ecstatic as you are.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it can just lead to... Yeah, I don't know. There's other ones like that. I'll have to get them up for the next one, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I've never thought about it like... Yeah, I like that, but... Yeah, cool. All right. Well, this is the final question that I do ask everyone that comes on. And that's, what's a piece of advice that you would give to someone who just feels a little bit depressed because they're feeling lost?
I'm sure that someone has already said this answer.
Oh, it's fine. You're going to say it. And everyone's different.
I'm sure that someone's already said the answer, and that is just, you got to... If you're feeling depressed, laying inside and being mopey over it is just going to make you more depressed. You got to be able to get outside. You got to be able to go and do something that you're finding interesting to you, whether that's going for a walk around the block, spending some time with your dog, getting outside and playing with a stick on the ground. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you got to just make a goal. I think goals are the best thing in the world. If it was me and I was feeling depressed, I'd make a goal, look at something that I could create, get out there and get it going, get it happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a perfect answer. Trust me, no one said it the way you've said it before, but I know what you're saying. It's, you have to have something to work towards.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You have to have, and at any stage in your life, you know, once you reach that goal, you got to make another goal. Otherwise, you're going to be at the same spot you're at right now.
Yeah.
In 5 years' time. You got to continuously make goals, and it doesn't matter if that goal is for tomorrow, the next day, 2 weeks, 5 years, you know, make goals. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And another thing for anyone who is listening, whoever does want to come onto the podcast, but it's like also a bit of advice for you. Don't worry about saying something that you think someone else has said in the past, because sometimes people just need to hear something in the right sentencing for it to really click with them.
That's right.
So I'm happy for the same answer to get done till episode 1000 and beyond. If it was the same answer, I'd be happy with that. But someone's going to enjoy listening to the way someone has said it.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I suppose it's just like a sermon someone going to a sermon, listening to one preacher say it, listen to the second preacher, they're saying the same thing, but it's just like one preacher said it a bit better. Yeah, cool. All right, well, Paddy, I do really, really, really appreciate you coming over. I really appreciate our friendship. I thank you for our time. I feel a lot more relieved than I did at the beginning. The nerves go away pretty quickly, as you can tell. And I am definitely excited to do episode 2. Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on, Doxy. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a wrap.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a 2-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stunt.